when I didn't have a lot of money and I was buying weed, I would break it down a gram a day. I'd be like, I can't smoke more than a gram a day. So
a ration man.
Yeah, I would leave it in separate baggies. I'd buy an eighth and then I'd break it up immediately. And like somebody told me one time, they're like, well, if you get stopped that in your pocket, like they're gonna get you for distribution. And I'm like, no, I'll just explain to them. And then I'm like, well, that sounds so fucking stupid. I'll just explain to them.
I'll just tell them,
bro, I'm poor and I know I can't smoke more than this today.
Oh, is it a crime to save money?
Right?
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day.
You got a nice setup here. It's really nice, man.
Thank
I also
you.
like how you have guitars in here, so if someone knows how to play guitar, they could just bust out some shit, you know?
Yeah, we were hoping you would bust out a quick solo.
Bro, I know like 3 chords.
Dude, it's more than 3 more than I know.
Yeah. I was like gung-ho in October for like trying to learn guitar. I picked it up
I love that
every
it was in
day.
October. Like, some people would be like, yeah, I played guitar from when I was like 14 to 18 years
Sure,
old.
like 3
I
weeks.
played guitar in
Sober
October of
October,
2012.
guitar October.
Bro, like I picked it up in full intentions every day. I did 15-20 minutes on it, just playing
That's
the same
good.
3 chords. And then each weekend I would spend an hour learning new stuff. And I was like super gung-ho, and I'd made arrangements to go take guitar lessons, which are fucking, I didn't know how expensive them fuckers are. And all this stuff. And then like the guy canceled the first appointment, and I was like, that's fine, I'm busy anyways. And then I had to cancel the second appointment.
Oh, that's
like,
it. Dude,
I'm done with this.
There's no way you start doing that.
Yeah.
No matter which order that went into, like if you did the
Yeah.
first one, then he did the first 2,
Yeah,
it's a
done.
wrap.
It's done.
It's
It
a
ain't gonna
wrap.
happen. Yeah, I'll see you next October. You know what I mean?
It's an absolute wrap.
I should wait till this October, hit him up and be like, "Hey, do you want to meet? Like, what's up?"
Yeah, hey, what's going on with that? Can we no, I'm terrible. I never learned any of it.
Well, I did okay. Like in high school, I took guitar 1 and 2, and I did pretty decent. I
Really?
don't remember any of that shit, dude, at all. Like I remember picking up the guitar in October, thinking, "Oh, I'll just play some of the Christmas songs I learned." Yeah, no, bro. It was. I thought it would just be like come back like that. Absolutely not. Like
That's funny.
yeah, dude. So like I was like trying to play Jingle Bells and shit, which is like it's so basic and simple. Like if you pull it up on YouTube, it's literally like the only videos are shorts because it's such a simple song. But like yeah, dude, I thought, oh, I'll just pick this back. No, it didn't work.
I'd love to
at all.
learn the piano.
I think
I
that's
don't
more
have the
intriguing.
discipline. Well, dude, there's something so slick
Yeah, dude,
about
it's
you know
very
what,
smooth.
Well, the idea is too that people don't know you know,
Yeah,
and then you're walking
That's
through
true.
a place and there's a piano.
and you're just like, oh,
I think, yeah, let's see what this thing's about. And then you just bang out some fucking, like, you know, Beethoven.
yeah, dude, that's a valid point though, because guitar people always bring their shit with them, right? You see them coming a mile away, you're like, oh, this guy clearly knows how to play guitar.
You see him coming
Piano
out. You
people
can't
just
a
have that
piano
shit
with
yeah,
you,
bro. Yeah, it would be kind of fucking wild. Which, by the way, like, you know, I just the idea, like, somebody told this joke last time that made me laugh about how falling pianos they thought was gonna be a bigger problem in their life, and I was like, that was kind of remember that was like a
Very
thing
big
for a
in
while.
cartoons. Yeah, I've heard that joke
But-
about quicksand.
Yeah, it's kind of similar. Yeah,
I
similar
thought quicksand was
concept.
going to be a bigger issue.
Yeah, which again, both those are 2 things that were featured in so many movies.
And hammerhead sharks, I thought were going to somehow be a problem.
Yeah, that's it. Dude, I used to be terrified of hammerhead sharks. I've never
Dude,
fucking seen
I'm
one.
still terrified. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I mean, luckily I haven't seen one either, but what is that?
Yeah, it seems
We're not
like
talking
something like a
about 'em,
freak
though.
of nature or something like.
I don't
you
have
know?
the so I don't have the discipline to learn an instrument. Sometimes I say that, and people, you know, like I mean, you fought back with me on that sometimes. Like you're like you do have discipline if it's something you want to fucking do. It's like there's just certain things that seems like an out though to be like, well, I don't want to do it, so I don't like because that is like is it discipline? Like I want to learn shibari to tie women up.
Oh, okay.
So there's
okay,
like
the art,
there's an art of that, right?
Yeah, well, especially with the way that they do the knots and the way they it looks
exactly.
very.
There's like a whole art to it. So
Yeah.
I started learning a little bit. I got the ropes and practicing, and it's like the reward there is literally orgasmic, you know?
Yeah.
And I still don't have the discipline.
Yeah.
It's like I can't, you know, the guitar I'm not gonna. It's like there's a clear reward to one, you know. But also it's like when I was younger, I would tie people up with whatever. You know what I mean? A tie, a necktie, a fucking whatever. No, hold on. Just meaning that like there's an art and a safe way to do it, and then there's also just ways to do it. So when there's like other ways to do it that I already know, that if it was like I couldn't tie anyone up, period, then I would probably learn it.
Right.
But it's
I
like they're
gotcha.
teaching me Boy Scout knots and shit. You know what I mean? When I'm like, this
slip
is
knots and all that good
It
stuff.
also depends on how many people will like be interested or excited by what you're doing, right? The only people that would give a shit about knots are the people that you're tying up, and then boat captains. Like,
I
who
gotta
else
say,
even
people
does
like
knots?
sailboats
that's what I'm
and
trying to
shit.
tie up though.
Oh,
I
nice,
get a real
nice.
hard one for
That's
guys who like live on a boat. You know?
I like those.
guys are rely on the wind to move. That's really what gets me going. It's kind of funny you say that. Like, I honestly consider you to be a very disciplined person, just like off of the things.
See, I get that from people. Everyone but me thinks that about me.
Well, I just feel like you're the type of guy. It seems like you're the type of guy. You get an idea in your head, and you're like, I'm going to do it, and you just do it, and you figure it out, you commit to it, and you just go, dude. I mean, like, look at this.
This is Mike, dude.
Yeah, I'm pretty much the guy that's doing those. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
but
dude.
like, I need him to be my face because I can't do what he does, kind of, and then he can't do. Well, so it's a
team
match
effort.
Yeah. But
we need each other.
That's what I had to say. To say that we need each other.
Right.
It's like I am. It's like, and from the outside looking in, to go get my electrical license or to go do certain things I do focus on and do. But the amount of things that I think about and don't do, I'm overflowing with that. Like my therapist called it analysis paralysis, because I'll just sit and think rather than do any action.
Oh,
That like fake it till you make it thing.
Yeah.
I've heard recently that to flip it, just make it, just start going.
Yeah, and
just start. Go ahead, fail. You know what I mean? Like everyone's so scared to fail. There's like a perfectionist in everybody.
It'll hold you back. I mean, it's funny you say that because it will definitely hold you back. Like I've like. I wanted to start comedy for so long, and you and I had talked about stuff like that, and it was just really the idea of failure, the idea of bombing or whatever was what held it back. But at the end of the day, it's like that shit's so small
and it's not a
minuscule,
conscious thing, because in your logical mind, like if we were to talk about it prior, which we did, I'm sure, but if we were to talk about it, it's like, what's the fear? It's like, well, that I'm gonna bomb. It's like, yeah, do you give a fuck about them people? No,
exactly.
And you don't.
Exactly.
It's like the truth is that's what's so funny about those types of fears, because I genuinely don't.
Yeah.
I remember someone had said, like, before I went up the one time, they're like, I was talking about how nervous I was. And they were like, wouldn't it be nice if you knew everyone was going to laugh? And it's like, yes, that would be nice, but I'd still be nervous.
Yeah. I mean,
it's not that I'm so terrified of that. It's the idea of the publicly speaking, period.
Yeah. Well, it is definitely. I mean, dude, I don't care what those guys say, all these professionals say. There's no fucking way you walk out into a packed arena and you're not nervous. I don't care how many times you've done this shit.
Yeah. Well, some people say it's every time. Yeah. Yeah.
I just think that you get better at hiding it. I don't think it's so much about you get over that fear. Like, don't get me wrong, like there's a point where you become calm and comfortable up there, but you're still fucking nervous, even if you got bangers or whatever. Like,
yeah, your set's fire. But I think what it'll be is like it's like a reshaping of the perspective. Yeah. Because physiologically, excitement and nervousness are like the same. So it's like if you learn, oh, I know I'm safe. I feel this in my body. Here are these sensations I'm having.
Yeah.
It's another thing one of my therapists would always tell me, instead of just giving it this umbrella label of like, I'm feeling anxious, he'd be like, but what are you feeling in your body? Like a tightness in your chest, a heat in your head. Like, and then when you do that, you separate yourself from it a little, Instead of you becoming anxiousness, you go, oh, I'm feeling this tightness in my chest because my system feels like anxiety.
Yeah, I guess you're focused more on everything else instead of just here.
Yeah.
I never really thought about it like that. Maybe I should switch to your therapist. I never really thought about it like that. She's never recommended that to me. No, but I never thought about that like that. Like, honestly, like, that's I'm gonna have to start like applying that in my everyday life. Like,
It's
that's
interesting.
a really interesting way of thinking.
It's interesting because I'm cut off from my body. One thing I learned in therapy is I'm very heady. Like I intellectualize everything and then analyze everything, right? Which has helped me. And I needed to do that at some point in my life, which is why I started doing it. But it'll get me out of feeling, right? I'll have something happen to me or be going through something. And instead of like feeling that emotion and processing it, I'll be quick to label it. Oh, that's what this is. That's coming from the,
Yeah.
I'm running and chasing and plotting and organizing and putting things down.
You have a giant whiteboard and you're just starting to
exactly.
pin it all together.
And everything I can put on there except for myself. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't. It's like, so it's interesting because I didn't even do it like intentionally. It's like it took therapy to realize that just because I'm naming what that is doesn't mean I'm sitting with it or letting that process and letting it go all the way through.
Yeah. I will say about you being analytical because like I think you and we have similar ways of thinking. And
about
like
the gay man. And
yeah, of course, absolutely, man. That's all I think about is gay dudes in bathhouses and whatnot, and fucking. Anyways, but the way you think about stuff, like you're very free from. First of all, you're very free from people's opinions. You're not like you'll listen to what someone has to say. Look at that, and you'll listen to what someone has to say, but you're also not like you don't. which is like I don't try to like I'm definitely open to hear what people have to say, but I don't let it define me. And you're the same way, and I notice that. But you're also so like you can really take a whole situation and see it all the way 360 around. Most people can't. I feel like you can see like for example, this is kind of a little bit off topic, but say this wasn't your plate and you walked in here for the first time. Most people just walk in here, see a studio. Oh, like this looks like nice setup, professional, blah, blah, blah. I think you would come in, see that, but then also be like, well, what are the stories that have been told here? What is happening here? What caused all this to get to this? What was it like before? Like you really kind of take a deep dive on things. You're not a surface level person. I feel like a lot of people are very surface level. They don't put much thought into shit. They're just like, oh, well, I guess that's how it is. Ba-doom, you know, and they don't really take in any more like thoughts on it.
Right.
But you are like, you're so like, I got to get to the bottom of this. There's no, you don't leave anything unscratched the way you think.
Maybe
At least that's what I'm taking.
Maybe it's a diss. Well, thank you for saying that. I appreciate that. I take that as a big compliment, you know, and maybe it's because I just distrust what's put on the surface. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm digging because like, there's like it's like, it sounds like a good thing, but I think that there's a distrust there. And it's so easy to look at my side.
Yeah,
you know, or the obvious side, right? When person A goes, dude, fucking person B is fucking terrible, right? I'm here, it's devil's advocate. That's how I started doing it, you know? I'm just like, okay, but what does person B think?
Right.
You know, I remember this one time I was talking to this girl and she said she like bought a new vehicle and went to her like seen her ex-boyfriend somewhere or something, and he like ended up like putting a dent in her like punched the like, you know, damaged the vehicle or something, right? And I was like, damn, like why'd he do that? She's like, he's jealous. I'm like, right, why did he say he did it? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no,
because he's not going, I'm so jealous.
Boom. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's just so interesting. Like, I'm not disagreeing with you that's probably the reason, but just out of curiosity, what is his side of that story?
Yeah.
Because it's so easy to just look at your side. And it's like, I'm not saying either one's right, but what was his side, you know? It's the same thing for politics. You guys want the same thing.
Right, exactly.
You guys all want America to do well.
Right.
But because they
Supposedly.
can't see yeah, except for those, you know,
Yeah.
the ones, you know.
Yeah.
And then you could just make that whichever, like whoever side you're on.
That's what's great about being vague with politics. You can just be like, yeah, dude, they're fucking it up for all of us.
You guys know who we're talking about. They're fucking everything up. But, you know, we're doing what we can, you know.
Oh man, I've learned that as I've gotten older, especially because like I don't really enjoy talking politics too much. I think we're getting fucked no matter who you pick. We're getting fucked one way or another. Okay, it doesn't matter. Like maybe this way seems cleaner, but we're still getting fucked. But you know, like
yeah, I do.
So when people start talking politics, I've learned like certain vague statements I'll say that just get me out of the conversation. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, I don't want to be a part of this. I could care less, dude. I think everyone's entitled to their opinion, just like with religion. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. I got my own. You got your own. That's fine. Cool. I'm not going to hate on your shit. Don't hate on mine. Let's just not talk about it. Let's find some common ground, or let's talk about something that's fun. You know, I just feel like everyone nowadays is so up for a debate, and it's like, that's so exhausting. Do you want to spend your whole day debating all fuck? I don't want to do that shit. You know, I'd rather laugh.
Well, especially just debating people you don't know.
That too.
You know, it's
that
like
too.
we're getting fed these things from wherever, and it's like, and that once you start looking into propaganda, this shit gets just dark, man. It's just dark where it's like, and that's why I also question my own theories and thoughts. It's like, I'm a product of my environment. We like to think, well, we have the internet, so I make all my own decisions. Sure.
Yeah, but you were influenced somewhere.
I was born somewhere, you know, looking away, you know, in this economic class. You know, there's certain things where it's like I may have a completely different opinion.
For sure. Like, so I grew up in like a ghetto, dude. Like we were the only white family around or whatever.
Squad.
Yeah. We were like the only white family around. And like, I remember when I was in like 5th grade, right? Like Eminem got real big. And
Eminem who?
Yeah, Eminem, you know, Marshall Mathers, a rapper, Eminem. But because of that, everywhere I went, like I used to get jumped a lot being the only white kid. And so like every day, dude, like this sucked. Every day I would literally, as soon as the bell rang, I would run. It was like a 15-minute walk
behind you.
Fucking dude, almost like Naruto or something. Just balling home, dude, because I don't want to get
That's
jumped,
why you got beat up.
You know?
Here's what it was. No one messed with Mike. And then he started sprinting away from people. Somebody get that motherfucker.
Yeah. Well, the first time I got jumped for being like, because we were like the white family or whatever, it was in like
That's so
second
crazy.
grade
Did
or
they
whatever.
say that explicitly?
Yeah, dude.
Or you know.
Someone
Even
was
if they
just
didn't
like,
say it, you
well,
would
because
know.
everyone insinuated that we were rich and shit. And I'm like, bro, look, I live on the same block as you. What are you talking about? Like, we're obviously fucking white trash.
Interesting.
Like, hello.
Interesting.
But so that when that started happening, I would just run home because I was like, fuck, I don't want to get jumped. And then like Eminem comes out, right?
It's at the beginning of a Forrest Gump movie.
Yeah, pretty much. It literally, like, dude, I used to think about that scene all the time, right?
You're
And I'd
like,
be
my mom did fuck the principal. I did have braces on my leg. This is very similar.
Made the dean's list, no big deal. But so when Eminem got like real big, these guys would literally be like, "Hey, rap for us." Or we're gonna fuck you up. I swear to God.
I was so
I
curious
swear
what
to
that was
God.
gonna be. Rap for us is
So I'd have to rap
crazy.
Eminem songs to keep from getting my ass kicked. I swear to God, dude.
Bro, that is
Like-
so crazy. You're at home scribbling. You have all this paper around you. Your mom's like, "Are you doing
Hi,
homework?"
my name is.
Yeah,
Hey, my name is what?
I got a
Mom, can you
starter
make
calf.
spaghetti?
I'm
I need to
angry.
make a bar about it.
Like,
Bro. So literally to save my ass, I would rap for
No,
these
Mom, it's Stan. I'm
motherfuckers.
rewriting it. All right, you're gonna kick my fucking ass tomorrow.
Dude, I remember this one time. Dude, it was in 5th grade, and this dude told me to rap for him,
Dude, that's
and I
so
was like
crazy.
so over it. So I'm like, I'm Slim Shady. I sound it. And I had like no, and he
Not
got
enough
mad.
pizzazz?
He got mad
Dude,
that
not
there wasn't
enough
enough.
pizzazz?
He was like, no, do it like he does it. You know, and you're standing like
What the
on a
fuck?
street corner with like 5 dudes ready to beat the fuck out of you for no reason. So you're like, okay,
Not
cool.
the best environment to
Yeah,
rap
so
in.
now you're over there giving it your all. You're like, fuck off, Slim Shady. You know, it's like cars going by. Like, what is wrong with this guy?
You know, racism's so much funnier when it happens in
Dude,
reverse.
that's okay. So I tried to explain this to someone, and they were like,
less
and they
systematic.
literally just wrote me off. They're like, white people have never experienced racism, and I'm like, dude, racism isn't fucking defined to a specific race. Like racism is all around. You know what I mean?
I think racism.
Maybe not on the same level.
Yeah, definitely not,
But
definitely
still
not,
the same.
definitely not.
It's still
Yeah,
racist.
no, it's
Everyone
Like,
knows
you're
what's
still
racist.
Yeah.
assuming and
Things
just
like-
oversimplifying my
Right.
Yeah,
existence.
I go like 80 on the highway. I never get pulled over. So yeah, so you're right. It's fucking. I'm just saying. Like I understand.
But there's
that,
things
you know,
that are clearly racist, like having an American flag.
Yeah,
So
something like that, yeah.
There's you
Rap
know,
it the way he raps it. If you said that shit to
Bro.
a black dude, oh
Yeah.
shit, dude.
Could you
Oh
imagine?
shit.
Could you imagine?
Dude, why don't you do it like Papoose, dude?
Yeah,
You're
right?
black.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
black.
What are we doing
What
here?
the fuck? It's funny that it's
Christ.
interesting that they thought you had money, knowing
Yeah,
that you're in the
dude.
same impoverished
Yeah.
neighborhood, right? But I have heard that, well, because that speaks to something deeper about class, right? Which is what real race, you know, it's like class
Also,
thing.
just racism is just oversimplifying somebody else. Like they just
Yes.
didn't think of it logically. They're just like,
Yeah.
oh, you're white.
Well,
That's all. It's all
well,
you
yeah.
know.
Well, I've heard too.
Yeah.
So when I've talked to people that are in shitty areas, right, where they do like rob people and murders happen and stuff like that, I've asked them. I'm like, do you guys would you rob a white guy, right, just for being here and being white? And you know what they said? Yes, because we think he's got money, not because he's white. Because we think white people have money. So
Right.
that's so interesting that you
Yeah.
say that, because it's like the same type of thing, right? And this guy's probably, I mean, if he's in this neighborhood, he probably doesn't
The
have
real
money.
question is like, so have you guys done this? Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Did they have money?
Oh, good. I didn't go.
Because if
on.
they're here,
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
that's the other question. It's like if you're here
Either they're lost
logistically,
somehow,
you
yeah.
probably don't have money.
Right.
If they're lost, then all right, we're back on board.
Yeah.
But like if you're just here, then it's like
Yeah, more than likely. Yeah. Also, I'm surprised that armed robberies are still like a big thing, like holding people up, because like people don't carry cash like that anymore, and everything's so digital and tracked
Dude,
that
good
I feel like
point.
it's hard to get away. Like, what am I gonna do? Steal
You
your
gotta get their
fucking
cash app
Venmo? Or,
at
yeah,
gunpoint.
yeah. Like I
Yeah.
guess you
Give
can,
me
but
your
even
pin.
then, like I feel like that's
Yeah,
tracked
yeah.
somehow, right? Like, is that gonna come back in a way or some way? Or-
Everything's tracked,
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how anyone does crime.
Yeah, so it's like kind of crazy. Like, dude, I think about that all the time, and like it's kind of fucked up because I think about it all the time. Where I'm like, dude, if I was born in like the 60s or 70s, I think I probably would have committed a crime because I knew I
Bro,
would
you
have figured
look
out how to
like
get
you'd
away
have
with it.
been a serial killer, for sure.
Yeah,
What are you
dude, straight
talking
up,
about?
Like, just
You'd
leave a
have at
cult.
least 6-7 hitchhiker bodies for sure.
Bro.
I mean, those don't count as much as regular folks,
my
but you know the
God.
hitchhikers do count for something.
Yeah.
Dude, did you see the race? Do you know when I have a couple notes up there?
Yeah.
Racist GoFundMe. Do you know what that is?
Is this about them funding the dude?
Funding the
is this
woman.
Tory Lanez or something like that?
No. So something
Something
different.
separate.
Something
Okay.
different.
Because I know about the Austin Metcalf situation with I forget his name now, and I'm not because I'm racist.
all look
I forget his name.
I can't
I
tell
believe
them
it's
fucking
Carmelo, but I don't want to be wrong about that. But I heard
Carmelo
about that,
Anthony.
and then I heard about this whole thing where people are funding a white person.
Yes. So
Yeah,
let me speak
okay.
on that. So you didn't hear about this,
I don't know too much
anything
about
this.
bro.
I want to.
I know, right? So there's a viral video. Basically, it's I guess a third party or bystander who pulls out his phone. There's a grown adult white female with her child, and this guy pulls the camera out. He's like, "Hey, did you just call that like little 5-year-old kid the N-word?" And she looks at the camera and she's like, he stole from me. And the guy's like, and the guy's like, say it again. And she says it again. She sees the camera, stands on it, calls this 5-year-old autistic kid the N-word, right? So obviously this guy's like, all right, we'll see how the internet likes this. We're gonna make you famous, right?
Fuck.
Doxes her. She is like, we need to relocate because of the death threats. Starts a GoFundMe, raises $750,000.
Holy shit.
Okay.
Bro, if you can get $750,000 for one hard R,
Yeah,
bro,
that's
I'll throw
crazy.
my shit away right now.
Listen though, all right. There's a lot that needs to be unpacked here. 'Cause, like,
Dude,
the racist part is that should be shined under a light, or is it obviously like other white people just seeing that she is in danger and she has a family, assumingly, like maybe some people are like, I want to help because your family's innocent, like you're obviously.
But what
a
is
piece
it?
of
White?
shit.
What does white people got to do with it?
Well, I don't know, like the racist ones that would be like, oh, I don't know.
Right. Well, that's the
other
thing.
one. Like,
That's the thing. And they're using Give Send Go, which is a
Give, Send,
Christian platform.
Give, send, go.
Yes,
Jesus
which is just
Christ.
funny that like GoFundMe might be like, I guess, like the secular platform. I don't know how like
It's like the devil worshiping
Yeah,
platform.
exactly. But so they're like, if you're racist, come to the Christianity side. It's just weird that Venn diagram there.
That's crazy, dude.
But dude, $750,000.
A lot of money.
Bro.
That's a lot.
Can I see that for a second just to make sure
Absolutely.
I'm not bad? Dude, so the little black kid's family, they started a GoFundMe. It raised like $340,000 and they closed it.
Was the kid affected? Like, did he hear it? Like, was like, I don't, because like,
He heard it.
when I
How
hear,
affected is he? Who knows?
Yeah,
he's
that's
five,
a good
right?
question, right? Like, because like I have a lot of early memories, right? From like but unfortunately for me, like just to not to get too much into it, I grew up in like a really abusive household, with a stepfather figure.
Let's get into it. That sounds fun.
So I remember some very specific things from when I was 5 of him, just like the first times of him seeing the behaviors and the way that he would handle things. You know what I mean?
He called you that word all the time?
Yeah, all the time, dude. All the time.
Dude, his
Just
stepdad came
lazy.
home. He's like, rap like
Yes,
Eminem.
yeah, dude, exactly. He'd be like, motherfucker, I want to hear the real Slim Shady. It's like, do it or I'm going to beat you again. Nah, dude, so like,
When you can't.
so certain things like that, I remember affected me, but those were very, like, so I don't know.
You can never know.
Yeah,
you
you
just
don't know
can't.
if a word being said
There's
to
no
you
way
at
to
5
know.
is effective.
There's no way to
Somebody
know.
hitting you at 5 is definitely going to affect
And the
you.
word could be.
Yeah.
It could ruin
That's
that
true,
person.
too. You don't know,
It's-
because everyone handles everything differently.
That's what trauma, right?
Well-
Trauma isn't what happens to you. It's how your body responds to it.
Exactly.
but
So-
that word
exactly.
has to be learned. Like,
What is it?
That word, the N word, like
Yeah.
for
Well,
this
she was
example. Well, the kid, for it to affect him, would have had to have
Oh,
learned that.
interesting.
That's true, too.
You
That's
can't learn that in
Interesting
society
point.
at 5
If-
in 2025 or
Interesting.
whenever the fuck
right,
it was.
Right.
And
Interesting.
probably.
So if the kid is affected by that, he was taught to be.
kind
It's
of,
interesting.
you know.
It is interesting.
That is, yeah. I never really thought about it like that. That's
You would
actually-
have that stance as this fucking straight white man in your point of privilege. Just saying.
Listen, I am a piece of shit.
Dude, but it's just like, honestly, to see that lady stand on what she had said.
Dude, she doubled down.
Dude, that's what's good. Like, normally you see the video, right? And, you know, because everyone's been there at the park saying the N-word, you know? But when they pull the video camera out, you shut that shit down.
Well,
Yeah.
She
did-
stood on business, bro.
Did he?
You would
steal
literally
from
go
her?
the opposite completely.
Mike said, well, was he being? No.
Like the Louis
Well, that was
C.
her
K.
argument.
bit.
Well, no, that was her argument. Her argument was like, well, she was, you know, she was
Jesus
literally like,
Christ.
yes,
Jesus
dude. In
Christ.
2025, and almost got $1 million from it.
Jesus.
It's
That's
just a weird
insanity.
sign of the time.
Dude, I mean, we're
you
definitely
know?
in such a strange time.
Dude,
like,
that's such a weird sign of
things
the
are
time.
bizarre, dude. Like,
That's
and
weird.
the amount of people that are blatantly okay with being racist, especially online. Anytime you see a video of like, say, like, I don't want to specify, but say like a big group of people are fighting and they all just happen to be the same color. There's always people in the comments that are just saying the most just straight up hardcore racist things. Like,
Yeah.
and then it's like you click on it and you're like, dude, I can figure out who you work for, whether you work for yourself, where you live, all this stuff just by your profile.
Yeah.
So it's like you're saying these things as if no one will show up at your house, and it's like that's insane, dude. Haven't you learned enough to know that people are crazy? You're gonna see one person reads that and goes, "Guess what? I got nothing to lose. Now I'm gonna go shoot this motherfucker in West Bumfuck." And it's like I don't understand how people can be just so comfortable blatantly being that racist, openly
Right.
racist. Like, I guess that I don't know. I'm not a racist person, so I don't know what that's like. I guess if you really truly believe that type of shit, you're like, whatever, I don't care. Who am I gonna offend? My friends, my family, who probably all think the same way.
Right.
But it's just crazy to me that people think that I'll just say whatever online. Like people, there's a lot of keyboard warriors too, so maybe they don't even actually necessarily.
I mean, here's the thing, dude.
Nuts.
Here's the thing. This is gonna be. I'm not gonna be able to articulate this in the way that I'd like to, but like, if you're racist, stand on that.
Yeah, I guess at least own it.
I'd rather
be 100% authentic.
Yeah, and not even just for me, so I can know and know where to put you and all that. It's just like because that's what you believe, you know. I think that to have a fully developed frontal lobe and to make it's too fine an argument. It seems like you'd have to be. It seems like you'd have to just be clearly jaded, right, or dishonest about logic, right, or break it down into a poverty situation, right, or a class situation in that way.
Yeah, you could,
but to do it just, it's just like
the problem with the internet too is people use it as if like when we're behind in our cars behind the wheel, like we act like a different fucking person than when we're like
100%.
on the street. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We do the same thing when we're online. Like we think we're untouchable.
right. So that's when you say the N word with the hard R when you're behind the wheel and when you're online.
That's the only
Dude, I've had to
time.
learn
That's the
to.
only time
I've had to
say
learn to get
Or when you
better
stub
with
your
that
toe.
behind the wheel, like straight up, like the amount of people, like, dude, because I'm bad with it, and
With what, road rage?
Yeah, and so I
It's
used to
always
use
intriguing to me.
gestures and curse, and dude, I've had people definitely like pull up like people that I can just tell are serious and just start following me, and I'm like, all right,
It's
man,
the same thing where you
maybe I
don't
need to stop
know.
doing this stuff. Yeah, there's how do you know this guy's on his last? He's had the worst day of his life. Just got fired. He's found out his girl's banging everybody in the neighborhood. He's on his. He's like, you know what? I'm ready.
He
I have
just
nothing
failed
to
his
lose.
last piss test. He's already going back.
He's already going back.
His
so why
parole
not?
is up.
Yeah,
It ain't even like.
And now I'm like,
yeah,
you,
bro.
bitch. And he's like, oh, okay,
bro.
Like,
Yeah. He knows once they catch
Yeah.
up with him, he's getting 20 anyway.
Yeah, and I'm in a soft top Wrangler, so if you're shooting that motherfucker, I'm gonna get hit. There ain't
There
no
ain't no
fucking
hiding.
there ain't no ricocheting off the glass or nothing. Well, it wouldn't ricochet off the glass, but you know what I'm saying. Like
There ain't no
it wouldn't.
hiding.
The bullet course wouldn't stray because of glass. It's fucking plastic window, bro.
Road rage is always interesting to me because some people have it who are the most cool, calm, and collected people, not in the car.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, well, that's
well,
not me.
Well, yeah, I was about to say yours is in a huge juxtaposition. But sometimes I've been with people who I know, intimately, and they're very calm. But then in the car, they're just like they're different people.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
The thing with me is like, I guess like I've like I said, I've backed down and gotten a lot calmer, and I've really just it's forced me to become more patient. I know as an adult,
you've gotten calmer since I've known you in the past 5 years. I've known you.
I appreciate that, man. I mean, I've done a lot of work on myself, dude. Especially in my 30s, I've done a lot of fucking.
It's the
work
weird
on
thing about it.
So.
It's like you got to do. It's like you won't just change.
Yeah.
I mean, age will give you some. You know what I mean?
You got to.
But if you're, you got to do some work.
I think a lot of people struggle with some, like I don't struggle with this, and it's really, it took me 27, 28 years to get real with myself. I can look in the mirror and admit my flaws to myself and be like, this is where you fucked up, this is where you sucked, this is where you're weak-minded and you need to do better. Like there's certain things, I don't know, maybe that's too harsh, but I can really be real with myself. I can honestly say my flaws and I can accept the criticism. If someone tells me, hey, I noticed this, like I try to like sit with that. Okay, like all right, cool. I don't get defensive. I don't get upset. I know that that's a natural reaction to want to get defensive because everybody loves themselves. No one. It's hard to admit. I shouldn't say everybody loves themselves, but it's hard to admit your flaws. It really is, to really look yourself in the mirror and be like,
well, and because
this is
your
what you need
brain
to work
protects
on.
you from them.
Yeah,
that's
does.
another thing people don't get. It's like even witness testimony shaky, right?
Yeah.
Because your brain is tricky.
Yeah.
I've
think you
caught
thought
myself.
something.
I've caught myself compartmentalizing.
Yeah.
To the point where it's like I'm doing something that doesn't align with who I am. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm tricking myself. It's not like some shit where it's like genuinely.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
so it is tough to accept your own flaws, and it's like, but I think that there's a good I don't know, there's just something about knowing the bad things, and even there's like an exercise where it's like I'll write down the worst things about me. Painted in the worst light.
Yeah.
Meaning that I know I'm already hype on me.
Yeah.
I
That's
got
tough,
the
dude.
list of the good stuff I already know. I got it right here. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? All the good stuff I'm constantly looking at and thinking about, I'm happy about. But there's a list of stuff where I can say, drug addict, lazy, you name it, right? I have a list, right? But it's like I don't necessarily believe, like here's the truth about both the lists, right? The good one and the bad one. I'm none of those things, right? And I'm all of those things.
Right. Well, that's
You know what I'm saying?
That's
Like
very true.
There's nothing static, right? So it's like the idea of self is constantly fluctuating. Like, who am I as a person, right? Am I kind? Am I generous? Am I patient? Am I this, right? Well, it depends. Have I gotten 1 hour of sleep? Has my mom died? Have I been eating right? Do I have love in my life? It depends, right? Who we are is made up of these co-emerging things at all times. So it's like, but the reason I like to look at the bad list is because, God forbid, someone does want to try to verbally attack me. What are you going to say that I don't know?
Right,
bro?
exactly.
I already know it.
Exactly.
Go ahead. I can show you my phone. Whatever you're about to say, I can show you my phone, a meaner version of it. You know what I mean? And there's something nice about that, because people are scared of words, and saying certain words and hearing them. And it's because we talked about before the cameras were on, I think, talking about dying.
Yeah.
People don't want to even say the word die.
Yeah, everyone's afraid to say that word. It's like, I think a lot of I think the biggest problem people really struggle with is owning your shit. Okay, like at the end of the day, we all have something. We all have something we're struggling with. We all have something. Like, everybody's got something in their life that they look back on and go, I wish I would have handled that differently. And everyone's got something in their life that they look back on and go like, oh shit, like I was the bigger person in the situation, whatever. But like, the thing is, you got to really own your shit. And I think a lot of people have a hard time understanding that. Like, dude, I struggle with a lot of stuff. I have an addictive personality. So like, we've talked recently about like the fucking the porn addiction that I struggle with, like sugar is a big problem in my life. And so like, I try to stay away. Like,
let's talk about those two things real quick.
Okay.
So, porn and sugar, right?
Yeah.
These are things that almost everyone
I
is
guarantee.
intaking,
But how many people could be?
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So, as far as intake, almost everyone.
Yeah.
And I have this. Well, with both of them, really. I mean, I struggle with both. You know, and I only use the word struggle because I'm a proponent of porn. Meaning, like, I don't think that it's like the devil's work, right?
Yeah,
I don't think it's
so
sacrilegious. I don't think it's cheating. I don't think it's disloyal. I don't think,
the cheating one's always interesting to me. People get like real worked up about that, and like I can kind of see it, but at the same time, I agree with you. I don't think it's cheating. It's like I'm not, like, I understand, like if I go to a movie and some girl takes her tits out unexpectedly, it's like, I didn't cheat on you. Like, the tits came out. What am I supposed to do? Well, that's a bad argument.
That is a bad argument.
That's a really bad
one
argument.
You're seeking.
Let me retract.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I don't think it's. I
fell
don't think
into
it's
the
cheating. Yeah, right. Like, dude,
I
I pitched a scenario one time. one time. Okay, my stepmom said.
Okay, all right, Todd, already. Slow down.
Right? Yeah. She was a dryer. She was stuck. No, she was saying that she wouldn't accept cheating no matter what the circumstances were. And I said, okay, well, hold up a second. What if you're working somewhere?
People will rip apart something for cheating.
Yeah, and
rip
I'm like,
it apart.
And I'm like, okay, what if you're working in a restaurant and a guy comes in with a gun and he makes everyone line up,
hey, bro,
take all their clothes off.
Can you get it slower?
Right? Yeah, I'll set the mood. I'll set the mood.
And this is your stepmom working there?
It's my stepmom's taking the order. You know what I'm saying? My dad's on the fucking grill watching.
Where's the dryer at in this situation?
But so like, say someone comes in with a gun and they're gonna rob the place, right? And they make you all line up and they make you take your clothes off.
Say his name's Justin, and it's his third one in a row.
Exactly, yeah. And they're gonna, like, they make you get naked, right? Okay. And now
Is this part of the robbery, or is this
this is part of the robbery. This is part of the robbery. Because I look, and this is also a sick part of my mind, is because if I'm gonna rob a place, I'm making everyone get naked. Not because I want to see them naked. I want all your shit so that you can't just leave here and go get help. Now you're fucking stuck in this building.
And also,
it's a real
fun.
sick way of thinking.
It's also a fun. It's also a fun headline.
I'm glad I came out here to admit these
I thought you were gonna be
ideas.
like, I'm gonna get caught anyway. Let's go all out.
Yeah, right.
Crazy.
I thought I was gonna jump out the window.
Like, I got everybody's pants and shit. But so imagine that happens, right? Okay, and so like, now you're all naked. They force you over into the walk-in. A girl's like sitting down. They're like, you, sir, get the fuck in the walk-in. Well, all the excitement caused you to have an erection. You go to walk in the walk-in, you slip, and you accidentally fall, and your dick goes right in the girl's pussy, and it comes immediately because you're so excited.
Oh, you cream pied her.
So how the fuck are you gonna say
cream pie? It does
you
happen.
can't say that was cheating?
People don't know this. These accidents happen.
This is what I'm saying. This scenario is so realistic.
It
sounds realistic.
This is
happening.
your own business, just trying to get through your shift.
I would say half the robberies in this country end like this. But in that scenario, I said, by the way, I was 17 years old when I pitched this scenario to my stepmom. In that scenario, I said, would you consider that cheating? Because it's not like he wanted to do that. All these things happened, and he just so happened to trip, fell in, came immediately, and then got up and apologized.
By the way, I love hypothetical extremes for that reason. To push things,
Yeah, let's take it to that level.
That's a thought. Yeah, I like it. What did she say?
She got kind of like, she was like, well, I guess in those circumstances, and if there was enough people to verify the story, that no, I wouldn't consider it cheating.
She's interviewing the people who were there. She's like, did he look like he liked it?
Yeah.
Did he look like he liked it?
What did his face look like when he came?
Yeah. Did he look like he liked it?
Whose name did he say? No, Yeah,
Well, it's funny you said the thing about getting naked. I have this theory that, or not a theory. It's like I made this joke one time, but it kind of also, we might just bleep the words I say.
Okay.
We might. But I feel like if I watch a lot of crime docs, right?
Yeah.
And when someone kills a person, not in the heat of anger, right? But like wants to seek and kill, right? And they kill a woman
Okay.
for the thrill of the kill, right?
All right.
And they don't. I think that's mad disrespectful. Bro, listen, hear me out. Mike, hear me out. Mike, hey, listen, how fucking rude is it that you're gonna kill her, but she ain't hot enough to fuck? Dude, you're not gonna rape her? That's so disrespectful. If you think about it, though, it's rude.
It is a little bit rude. The fucked up part is I'm like on your side.
I was just about to say, the fucked up part is you agreed at all on camera that
I'm
you
like-
budged. Remember, just bleep the R and M ones probably. It might even be funnier.
Oh my
I don't know, but yeah,
dude.
that's. I do feel that way.
I've never thought about that, but it does seem
because
a
I
little
see
offensive.
it. I see it sometimes, and I'm like, wait, they didn't find semen in her. I'm like, what the fuck? What a wasted
Oh
opportunity.
my god.
I mean, I don't know. It's a little extreme, and obviously none of that's funny, or like in reality would be funny. It's just like the idea of a woman, like a woman after she's like, listen. Let's say
it's not funny.
there's nothing funny as we like die. I know. Listen, the woman's ghost being offended, being like, oh,
Yeah, like, oh really?
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, you can kill me, but you couldn't take it, I just got
Swap
waxed
wasn't good
2
enough for
days
you?
ago.
Wasn't good enough?
I just got waxed 2 days ago, and you're gonna fuck Brenda,
Bro.
Yeah.
That's even more offensive if you got waxed 2 days before. That shit was ready for it.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, God.
Yeah, all right, we're going to hell for
You
that.
know what's
Might have to
great?
cut this whole shit, honestly.
No, it's
Honestly,
just
I
I've
might have
never
to wrap
thought
this
about
whole
it.
thing, just start doing drugs.
I've never thought about
You've never thought about freaking yes. You've never thought about how dude, thank God. Like, if anyone else has had that parallel thought, they need the psych ward, okay?
Oh
Trust
my
me.
God.
Because I've never had that thought.
Dude,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
On a real note, have you ever thought about killing somebody? Just,
Yes.
yeah. I feel like everybody has had that thought.
I disagree.
Really? You don't think so?
No. I disagree. People haven't. It's the same way. Like, the conditioning is so strong, and some people aren't. I consider myself like passionate.
Yeah.
Would you consider yourself the
Yes,
same?
I
I
would.
consider myself emotional. Would you consider yourself the same?
100%.
So look, dude. I think that passion and emotion can drive you for good, and they
And
can
for
drive
bad.
you for
For
bad.
sure,
So it's
dude.
like, I know I could kill somebody, right? And I have thought about it, not in a way that I'd actually plan it out or do it, because it's just like and now I'm at a point in my life where I would never kill anybody. I don't even believe in the death penalty where I'm currently at,
Yeah.
in my beliefs. But yeah, I've thought about it, but I don't think everyone has. Do you think everyone has? I think
I
the
feel
conditioning's
like
so strong they don't even want to get close to it.
Yeah, maybe it's not the thought. Everyone's at least made a statement of like, oh, I want to kill my boss or something like that. But I don't
know
I
if
guess-
that's
I guess,
true.
I guess,
Maybe like I want to punch my boss. Or
dude, there's no
something.
way. Okay, like
Or
even,
there's
like,
some really squares out there who'd be like, I'd really like to show him a thing or two or something.
Yeah.
At
I was
best.
gonna use an example, but then I just realized that the motherfucker served in the military, so he probably did kill somebody. I was gonna say Mr. Rogers. You don't think he's ever thought about killing? They're like, well, he probably killed a lot of Viet Cong. So, but I just feel like everyone's had at least the thought, or at least been like. And my thing is like, here's like, okay. Unfortunately for me, and a lot of things that I've had to learn, because when I was a lot younger, especially in my teen years, in my early 20s, like I was very angry, and violence was like. I grew up in a household that was violent, very violent. I grew up in a neighborhood that was violent. So violence always seemed like the solution to everything, right? Someone upsets you, cool, let's go fuck them up. That's not gonna, that doesn't solve anything.
Mm-mm.
And it doesn't even
It
solve
only
your own
complicates
feelings.
things,
You know,
yeah.
people think that if I beat the shit out of this person, I'm gonna feel better. No, you're not. You're actually gonna feel worse. And so like with me, like dude, so like I don't know if I should be saying this type of stuff because I know people are gonna be watching it, but whatever.
Literally no one watches.
Yeah, you say that, dude. You get like a fair amount of people watching this. This is a good
Hey,
podcast.
thanks, man.
I enjoy it.
You heard it. You got a compliment. Write that down. That's number 6 of all time.
But like dealing
We
with
have a
my
notebook.
you got like you're like
we have
you got,
everyone.
like,
I can't fucking.
spreadsheet.
Yeah, exactly.
fucking put the date down.
Mhm.
But like my stepfather, he was like very abusive. He would beat up on my sister and I pretty much every fucking day, dude. Like no lie, every day, daily from the time I was 7 to when I was 15, and that's when I got the fuck out of there. But when I was
You're older or younger than your sister?
I'm younger, and I have a lot of guilt because I feel like I should have stepped up when we were
Sure.
teenagers. because he's hitting a girl. And
Yeah,
shit.
but it's not as that simple.
You
What are you
know?
talking about?
Yeah,
This is
it's
a
not-
power
yeah,
dynamic,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
You're fucking this.
Yeah,
It's
I have
not-
guilt, but I've forgiven myself. But I still have the guilt.
Yes, it's
Like I know there's something I could have done.
But you can do that for almost every situation.
And I'll probably
you
do
know?
that the rest of my life.
Well, right, but anyone I know who's overdosed, anyone I know who's something I could have done more, right? I could have reached
Right.
out. I could, obviously in hindsight, I wish I'd have stepped up to the fucking. But it's not just as simple as you now
Right.
going to.
That's true.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, it's obviously a different mindset. Like when you're
Yeah.
a teenager, man, you don't really have it. You don't know. You think the feeling you're feeling right now is how you're gonna feel the rest of your life, and it's like not. But when I was 15, dude, like I had an idea in my mind of I was gonna kill this man, and I knew where I was gonna hide his body. And all,
You weren't thinking
all this
suicide. You
shit.
were thinking homicide.
Oh yeah, I was thinking about murdering this man, straight up, dude. I had a whole idea like of how I would do it, where I would take him. He worked overnights and stuff like that. I had it all, like in my mind, had it all
Sure.
planned out. And when that was happening, I don't know what made me do this. I have no fucking idea what made me do this. To this day, I still try to figure out what made me do this. I went and lived with my dad, was never in my life. I can count on my hand maybe 5 fucking times prior to being 16 years old that he was involved in my life. And I just went and up and lived with this guy. Now I'm with this guy every single day. But I got out of the situation because I didn't want to. I felt like if I'd have went through with this, I'm going to ruin my life, right?
Yeah.
So let me not. So I just
There's
got the
zero
fuck out of the
chance you're getting away
situation.
with it as a
Oh
as a
yeah,
kid.
for sure, dude. There's no way. I'm not as like
There's
I
zero
was dumb
chance,
back then, dude. I'm lazy.
There's
It would have been
zero
sloppy. Bro, they
chance,
would have figured
bro.
that shit out so
Dude,
quickly.
murder's so hard.
It is, and it's getting harder. There's too many cameras. But
Ring cameras everywhere.
Everywhere,
Traffic
dude,
cameras,
everywhere.
right? The red light cameras are
Yeah.
scanning plates.
dude, anytime there's a crime near my house, I get a fucking email from Anne Arundel County asking permission to access my Ring doorbell camera.
Yeah.
And I never give them the fucking permission.
Right. Well,
Not unless it happens to me.
If
then
the
we'll-
crime's serious enough, they don't need your permission.
Yeah, well,
They
that's
gotta
true
deal
too. If
with-
it's a
they-
murder,
yeah, they
but
gotta
it's always
deal
some bullshit.
I know.
You know, but there's been a couple shootings in my neighborhood. One of them was a drive-by 3 houses down from me, and the bullets.
You got away with it?
It was in the middle of the day. I was on second shift. And a guy drove by, and he
You have an
and I-
alibi, you're saying?
Huh?
You have an alibi, you're saying?
Oh, I have an alibi, sure. But it was crazy, right? So I heard it happen, and in my mind, because I grew up like the first shooting I ever witnessed, I was 7 years old. So in my mind, I went, that sounds like gunshots. But I had noticed right across the street they were working on a new house, and they're up there with hammers.
Tools.
And
Yeah,
they're
some type of tool.
So I was like, all that click, 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 click was a hammer hitting nails. I'm like, all right, no big deal. 45 minutes later, my doorbell rings. I open the door. It's fucking Anne Arundel County Police and the whole block. There's like 17 cops, everything. It's just chaos outside my door. And I had no idea this was happening. And I was like, what's going on? He's like, are you aware that there was
construction
you
across the street?
Yeah, right. He's like, have you seen these beautiful houses? Ryan Holmes. And
Bad.
he goes, are you aware that there was a shooting? And I was like, no. And he's like, there's a bullet lodged in the side of your house. And we go out to the round of the side of my house, and he shows me the bullet. It's above the window on the first floor. I was sitting in the fucking window on my laptop for the past hour. So when that all happened,
Jerking off, probably.
yeah, most likely. More than likely, dude. More than likely, it was either that.
Back
or
in the
like,
day, yeah.
yeah.
that's what
It might have
laptops
even
were.
been like, it honestly might have been like, I used to do video therapy before I met my current therapist. So it might have been that and then jerking off. I think I would do them in that order.
How young were you doing therapy?
Dude, I've been doing therapy since 2020. June of 2020.
Okay.
And
So
then
this wasn't when you were younger, this drive-by?
No, this just happened 3 years ago. Where I'm at now, the house I'm at now.
Got you. My bad.
Yeah.
I'm retarded.
Oh no, you're good.
Yeah.
And so he takes me out and he shows me the bullet on the fucking, and it's literally like, here's the top of the window and the bullet's here. So the way that it ricocheted off of my neighbor's drain spout, had it gone lower, dude, it probably would have right into me.
Sure.
There's no fucking way it wouldn't have. And I remember being like, 2 days prior to that, having this idea of like, hey, I should probably move this desk out of this window and put it somewhere else. Like, maybe it's not the best idea to be right in front of this window. And then that happened, dude. Immediately I moved my shit. I was like, all right, well, fuck, I'm
Yeah.
not doing this again.
Yeah.
But there's been a couple of shootings there, and each time they're always like, can we get your Ring camera footage? And like,
What's nice about that is property value.
yeah, well, yeah, there you go, right, yeah. I want mine to go
You
up, not
buy
down.
cheap. Oh, true.
Fuck.
You already bought. My bad.
Right now, it's ironically, or not ironically, that's not even the right word, but surprisingly, I'm up. Like, I got a recent estimate on the home, and I'm like, sweet. But the problem is, what the fuck am I gonna do? Sell it and then be fucked?
So here's the thing: you either sell it, right, or you like refinance and take a loan against it, which is just more debt.
That's my issue with that. But I've thought about that too.
Yeah, I mean, well, there's something to be said for it, right? If you're needing some capital, or you have something like for me, I took one, right, because I
Yeah.
already had a personal loan out that had a higher interest.
Okay.
So it just made sense numbers wise.
Yeah, right.
To
That makes
borrow
sense.
against this for a lower interest. So I did that, paid that off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I agree, it's just more debt. Because I was thinking the same thing, is that people act like it's this like fix all.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you mean getting more money from the bank?
Yeah.
Oh, more stuff from the bank?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Not the way you want to go.
Well, it's like I used to work with somebody who would lease cars.
Not the way I wanna go.
Every 3 years, they would lease a new car.
I hear people
I'm
praise
like-
about that.
People say that, but I'm like, do you really want to have this bill for the rest of your life?
A lot of
Like-
times people end up having a car bill for
That's
most of their
true.
life. That's what they say.
That's true.
Well, the same with houses. You know, people rent because they go, look, I'm going to let, you know, by the time I pay it off, I'll be, you know, it's like, I do
guess that's a
understand
valid
it.
point.
Most of our lives will have a house payment and a car payment.
That's true.
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
Unfortunately.
Luckily, the idea is towards the end, you'll have enough, you know, equity in it to where you can liquidate or do something
Yeah.
with it if you're owning. But at the end of the day, yeah, it's like, the system's fucked.
Dude, it's so crazy too, right? It's so nuts as a society. We all know we're getting fucked, but like I feel like everyone's too either busy or selfish to be like, let's get together and stop this shit.
Yeah.
Because I think about that all the time. I think about how like in the earlier days, right? Like obviously back in the day, there was like civil wars and there was like revolutions and all this stuff. We're in a time period where everyone's just like, I just want to get fucking clout and likes, and I'm like, what? Like this is
Yeah.
insane, dude. There's so many people that are like, I hate to say it, but there's like a lot of people that are just, there's no substance to them. They're very like, nobody uses their mind anymore. It doesn't seem.
Yeah.
Everyone wants the
iPad
quick easy
generation.
fix.
Mhm.
No one wants to fucking
Yeah. We talk about it.
I
Me
don't
and Mike
know.
talk about it. It's easy to paint with a broad, you know, they're out there.
yeah, oh, for sure.
You
I mean, like
know?
look at us, like that, but like people are drawn to you because you have like such a fun spirit and you have like
big dick energy.
well, that
Fun
too.
spirit.
Yeah,
Okay, I'll take
everyone's
that.
trying
I'll
to see
take
that
fun
cock,
spirit.
dude. I was like, the first thought I ever had was just like, this guy's dick must be huge. But no, I just
Not true.
You
Not true.
but you're proud of every foot. But everybody, you like people are drawn to you. Like you see that shit at work, and I can tell there's some days where you just don't have the energy. You just kind of want to be left alone. But
That's the
people want to
thing.
come talk to you.
Yeah.
People are drawn to you, and I think it's because you're such a different level of thinking. Like you're this intellectual. Like not only do you have a lot of knowledge on a wide amount of shit that you can hold court on just about any kind of subject or conversation, but you have this idea. Like, I don't know. There's not an idea, but you have this thing about you that is just like you seem very deep. But it's because you spent so much time really analyzing things and really just deep diving things.
Yeah.
Most people don't deep dive things. People
Yeah.
don't even like. We've gotten so lazy as a society that I remember when I used to buy something, I would do so much research before I'd buy it.
Yeah.
Nowadays, people would just
I'm
online
just
pickup in 2
curious.
hours,
Yeah.
done. You know,
Yeah.
like
and I'm guilty of that shit too.
Oh, so am I.
Yeah. I think that you know, coming from heroin addiction too, you know,
Yeah.
helped me like see this super depravity, you know, this like really depraved lifestyle that didn't fit me. You know,
Right.
it was like a square and a round hole. You know
Right,
what I
I
mean? Like
got
I was
you.
raised from a family that loved me and shit. You know what I mean?
right. I get it.
Granted, I was molested as a kid and I was trying to fit it in, but it's interesting that you notice that some days I won't have that energy, right, at work because people who don't spend a lot of time around me assume that I'm this huge extrovert, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, so when I'm in a situation, I'll be extroverted, but I don't necessarily seek that extroversion.
Right.
Does that make sense?
No, it makes perfect
It's
sense.
because well, I also hate labels, and especially how binary extrovert or introvert is. It's like, I'm just Justin.
Right,
Because
exactly.
Greg said to me one time, somebody that we both know mutually, I've had women tell me in my past, you know, the thing about you is you're hot and cold. You're either hot or cold, Justin, right? And I've taken that and thought about it deeply, you know, because it was, you know, input. But I've always just been like, you mean a person?
Right. That seems too one or the other. And
I'm
it's
just
like,
not the same way every single time
Exactly.
you see me. Duh.
Exactly.
And Greg said to me one time, he's like, it was kind of cute. I said, he's like, Justin, he's like, you're like a cat. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, some days you want to get pet. He's like, some days you don't want to get pet. And I'm like, yeah, that's
Wow, that's actually a
just
really good way
being
of-
a human,
Yeah,
though.
I
You
think
know,
that's
like to me,
anybody,
that's
dude.
that doesn't feel like. And it was nice that he said it to me because it was told to me before by people that I was with romantically, right?
Right.
So I thought that maybe it was something I was doing subconsciously to a woman, you know,
Right,
that
right,
I
right.
was romantically involved with. So it was nice to hear it from a coworker. So I'm like,
Exactly.
oh yeah, that's me. That's right. I'm like half bipolar or something, you know?
Well, I wouldn't say that. I just think you're a person, dude.
The
Everybody's
doctors do.
got days like that. There's some people that just want to talk all the time, and that's fine. Whatever, do your thing. But there's also like I'm like that. There's some days where I'm like,
Yeah.
well, I want to get in conversation, but then there's other days where I'm like, I just want to be left alone. dude.
Yeah, it
like, you know what I mean?
depends.
Like, so it goes. You go through those phases. Like, there's some weekends, like no lie, like a 3-day weekend because we're off every other Friday. there's some 3-day weekends where I'm like, I don't want to do anything, dude.
Yeah.
Like I want to be left alone.
That's great.
I'm gonna do some things in my
Isn't that
house.
nice?
I'll do some shit for me.
Yeah.
That's it.
Oh,
It's
that's nice.
dude. It's beautiful. Honestly, it is the most. It's such a good way. You're almost like tuned out. You're just kind of like, you know what? And it gives you a good idea to like, or a good time frame to really focus on what do you want.
Yeah.
Out of life, because
Yes.
you're blocking out all this excess bullshit.
Yeah.
And all this noise.
Yeah, and you're not just
just-
marching along where everyone else is marching. You go
Exactly.
You go, and a huge part of the, God, I hate even fucking. I judge myself so heavily when I start to say something like spiritual path, or like.
Well, listen, we're gonna do a swear jar here soon, and certain words, I don't know what they are yet. But
Yeah.
there are certain hot words you use, and we're just gonna make you put a couple dollars in a jar. That's all.
Like cunt, rape, or like spiritual
no,
journey.
should be words
mostly
like-
spiritual.
Okay,
bullshit.
should be words like
that
can't.
annoy me. That
That
annoy
makes
me.
it-
Yeah.
Yes, and me.
Okay.
yeah.
It should be
So-
words like can't or don't or like, you know what I mean? It shouldn't be like fuck or shit or like.
Yeah,
you know,
no,
it's that
it'll be
woo shit
super
he
gay.
does.
It'll
Yeah,
be the
gets into
woo-woo
woo-woo. If he says something about, I don't know, fucking ayahuasca, that's a swear jar word.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
the fuck else? Spiritual fucking,
Right.
I don't know, mindfulness.
Yeah.
That kind of shit.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I got you.
heal, but, on your own time.
Yeah.
We're
You know
trying
what
to make
else
people
is
laugh
good about
here.
you that I think a lot of people struggle with? You're so comfortable doing things alone. A lot of people can't do shit alone.
I ain't that comfortable.
But you make it like you're the type of guy where you're like I'm gonna go do this and you just do it. You're not like, oh, I don't know, and the day comes and you're like, fuck it, I'm not gonna do it. Like you're like
I do that sometimes too, though.
Really?
Yes,
Okay,
it's just,
I'm
maybe
just-
it's not advertised,
Yeah.
right? But I do that.
Okay.
Doing the, something like the ayahuasca or doing the thing. It's like that stuff. I'm not a good self-starter. I'm really not. And,
But see, from outside looking in, it always seems like you're very,
yeah, I guess it's better than some people. I don't wait, forever, but I wait too long,
Yeah.
I've definitely hindered myself by like, oh, I don't have someone to go to this concert with me, so I'm not going. I don't have someone to go on this hike with me, right? So
Right.
I'm not going. But it's
Okay.
like, that sucks because
Yeah.
I want to go on the hike, but genuinely as a /introvert /extrovert, not a lot, but a decent amount of my experience is shared experience.
right. Okay.
Getting to talk about that with somebody is very nice to me. I do
It is nice.
because it helps me formulate my own thoughts
That's true.
verbally. It like helps me. I like conversation. I like
Yeah.
dialogue. I like back and forth. So, yeah, I'm
There's-
not great at self-starting.
There's something about talking about it out loud versus just thinking about it, right?
Yes.
You can think about it all day long, but when you talk about it out loud, it definitely like it's like I'll have conversations with people and I'll start to like realize things about myself that I'm like, oh shit, that's crazy that I've had these thoughts, but I
Yes.
didn't realize it starts to
Yes.
open doors.
Yep.
I don't know if it's just the act of saying it out loud.
Right.
or
Good
what.
question. Right. You're trying to help them understand. You know what I
Right.
mean? Because
Yeah.
you already know it, so you don't have to articulate it to yourself, right?
Right,
So when
exactly.
then this person asks you, and you go, "Well, it's this thing," and it's something you thought about 100 times, right? Maybe even talked about 50, and then you say it one time to this person, you go, "Wow, that was the first time I was able to articulate that." That's what it is,
That's
and that's
true.
what it's
Yeah, I
been this
guess
whole
that's-
time. So it's like this, yeah. But there's something about you don't have the discipline to just sit at home and do it on your own.
Yeah.
Could I? Sure.
Right, but what are
Everyone
you gonna-
has the
yeah.
ability, but who has the discipline to go home and sit down and be like, all right, let me have a dialogue with
Right, yeah,
myself
yeah, and
about
talk- yeah.
how to get better.
And it's also you might subconsciously keep yourself like one-sided way of thinking, right? Because you're talking to yourself. You're not really kind of the other person's gonna have a different viewpoint. They're gonna have a
Yes.
different outlook on it.
Yes.
So it's like
You're going to be playing yourself.
Yeah, you're playing yourself.
Yep.
Yeah,
You're
exactly.
fucking
That's what I'm
playing
trying
yourself.
to get to. Yeah, exactly.
That's what people don't get when they're like, yeah, I don't need therapy. They're going to help me talk about my shit. It's like, all right.
Yeah,
Okay,
dude.
or whatever it is, whatever the thing is, right? Just as long as, like, for me, I know I'm playing myself. I know it. I'm convincing, right? Because it's like I'm convinced.
Right.
It's not
Yeah,
like
start
I'm
lying to
playing this
yourself
game.
almost.
Yeah, it's my brain is doing it. So that's why I'm always looking at it because I know shit's shaky. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I think there's also this stigma of like therapy being weak or like whatever, and I think we're getting away from that as society has gone on because I think
Yeah,
a
it's
lot of
gotten
people have
popular.
started realizing like,
Yeah.
hey, we're all kind of fucked up, right? And then I also feel bad for the older generation because I feel like there's all this like blame of like, well, boomers rather fucked us up or blah 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 blah, and I feel bad for them too because they're like, dude, they're just trying to do their best, just like
That's
we're trying
all
to do
they
their
were
best.
trying to
That's all
do.
they did. They were like, I think
Yes.
this is the best thing for you,
Yes.
and later you're like, well, I hated this, blah blah blah, and it's like, okay, well, at the time they just thought that was the best thing for you.
Yes.
So it's hard to like. It's hard for me because sometimes I'll have that mindset, right? Like I love my mom, but sometimes I'm just like, Sharon, you have this fucking weird way of thinking because you're so old school. This is a different day and age, blah blah blah. But then at the same time, I'm like, okay, well, what you grew up with and where you were coming from, like you thought that this was the best route.
And this is the thing.
That's-
That's playing the whole tape through, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes therapy does a disservice when they just go, hey, it's because your parents, right?
Right.
And then the person goes, yeah, fuck them, right? It's like, hey, it's because your parents. and they were just doing the best they could.
Right,
You know,
yeah.
you have to play that whole tape through. Don't
Yeah.
just stop at, oh, this is what fucked me up. You know what I mean? Like, everyone can do better. Always.
Right.
Could they have done
Exactly.
better? Yes. Could you? Yes.
Exactly.
Everyone can do better. This is how it unfolded. It's how it had to, because it did.
Exactly.
There's no other way it could have went in this
Yeah.
universe.
And see, and you understand it, like, because I said, like, you see everything, like, I really feel like you see everything all the way around. Like, I truly feel like you're so capable of understanding or hearing a situation, but just really giving a deep dive all
Well,
the
I'm
way
trying to
around.
deep dive this Diddy fucking case. Have you fucking
Bro,
seen
that
this
shit's
trial?
weird. That shit's getting weirder and weirder by the day.
Have you seen that he's in trial now, Mike? Have you seen any of that?
Not really.
Do you know about it? You know,
yeah,
it's like
yeah,
so,
no, yeah.
it's like they're trying to get him for human trafficking, and you know, it's
Yeah.
very interesting.
There's a
It's
few
a lot of
spots
gray
that seem
area.
like, yeah, it seemed like a stretch almost.
It's a gray
But I
area.
will say, it did make me laugh. Well, it's not funny. I don't think
Dude,
it's funny.
nothing funnier.
But the itty bitty, the what did she refer to his dick as? The itty
Wait,
bitty
what?
ditty.
I
You
didn't-
didn't hear about that,
no,
bro? So the girl was talking about, I forget. It wasn't what's her name, Casey or whatever.
Cassie.
I don't know who it was, but there was somebody else that
They
was
had
talking
sex
about.
workers and dead.
Yeah, they were talking about
and other
he
people.
raped her. It was what they were saying.
Jesus. Okay.
P Diddy raped her, but she said that when he pulled his penis out to rape her, she said, I felt relief because it was so small in length and girth that
No way.
I knew it wasn't gonna hurt when.
Way.
That's what she said. That's what the
Bro,
statement
what
says.
a wild
I swear to God.
testimony. And
That's
how is
what the
that
statement-
part relevant?
And then she referred to
How
it as
is,
an
like-
itty
The
bitty
point
ditty.
Of, like, I have to like
Yeah.
discredit
That's what she
her
said.
when she says it like that. It's
She said
like,
she felt relief because she knew it wasn't gonna hurt, and she said it reminded her of a Tootsie Roll, and she kept calling it an itty bitty ditty. That's
if-
what she said.
Okay, if you were molested or raped or whatever, right? Would you ever in a million years diminish him to what does that do for you? It
You
doesn't
get a nice little
it
jingle
doesn't
out of
make
it.
you
Itty
but
bitty
like
ditty.
you've now
Listen
like
to the ring
you
with
have
that, Mike.
now
Yeah.
you've now downplayed for yourself and for everyone else because his penis is small. Like you've made yourself
Agree-
sound
that
like
was
a
my
piece
first-
of
that was my,
shit.
That was my first thought too.
What?
Is like, oh,
What?
as long as it's not a huge dick, then this will be fine.
So we can all
Yeah.
just
Like, there's no
all
moral
micro penis
issue.
people just
like it's just a physiological,
fine.
physical
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah,
you
it
know?
is kinda like-
you got a 2-inch dick, whoever you want.
Yes,
they
yeah.
don't mind.
Yeah, some disgusting.
Ask
like,
Danny Kane or whatever the fuck.
The
it is.
idea of
Crazy.
a
crazy.
and you're like in your mind the word relieve after being the word relieve
Well, here's the
being
thing,
in
here-
that
well, to
seems
be-
so like,
Right?
to
Yes, that's that. It,
How
it
is that?
doesn't
Hold on.
work.
To be fair, your
I don't
brain,
believe her.
Your brain is
sorry.
probably grasping.
I don't believe her. He had
That's
lube.
interesting.
He had lube for all the fucking people. He's someone who cares about like how the shit feels.
Yeah,
Dog.
someone who cares.
Come
Hold
on.
You can care.
Come
And, you can care and
Okay, I'm not saying you can't. But if you use lube, you don't want her to feel like shit the
So?
entire way.
So?
I don't know, dude. I'm not saying it's good. I'm not saying it's good. What I'm
What are
saying
you
is whatever
saying?
the fuck she says is not right. Like, I don't know, dude.
She might have. Here's the
When
thing.
you
hold on.
say it that way, I want to defend him.
Here's the
That
thing.
makes
I
me.
think that-
I already said I'm a piece of shit.
I get it, and I do agree.
But-
not, no, I do not. But my point is, I think that you're having an emotional reaction
100%.
to her.
Downplaying.
Yes, what she did.
Oh, the
to,
small penis
to
is fine.
try to take an attack at him,
Sure.
but doesn't make her story untrue.
Stupid.
It makes her a dumb bitch.
Yeah,
It's
well,
like-
I don't believe dumb bitches when they talk. Like, I'm sorry. Like, like present yourself as a
this week
fucking
on
human
mansplaining.
being.
We don't
Right.
believe women.
If you're a human being,
believe no
I will
women.
listen to you. She just portrayed herself as not a fucking human being in that moment.
Mike's like,
Yeah.
dude, if her
I'm
pussy
out.
was wet,
I'm
she
out,
wanted
dude.
it.
I'm out. And
Listen,
it
as
wasn't,
three
dude.
white men, I think we
As
know.
three straightish white guys
I think we know what
in
went on
America.
now.
We can tell you about what's real or not.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll get to the bottom of this. You guys don't need to form your own opinion.
Dude, did he rape people? I don't know, man.
Well, here's
Like,
what's weird.
Here's
There's-
the thing.
It's a lot of gray area.
You
There's
can
drugs
decide-
involved. There's willing drugs involved.
But
yeah, it's
you
weird.
can decide after the fact, right?
Right.
So, like, I meet you, you're Diddy, and I'm an upcoming actress.
By the
or,
way,
I'm
there's
sorry,
no truth to this. None.
I'm an R&B singer. I don't know shit. I'm nothing. I meet you, and basically, I will, if I'm trying to make it, like, really, like, I will do more than I would probably be normally willing to do with a regular fucking person with you, right? But then the thing is, like, you and I could have a deal, do that deal, and then later I could just recant on that fucking deal that we had
Yeah.
because of whatever. I'm nobody. Danny Kane has been nothing since making the band.
Yeah, dude. I think about that type of shit too, right? Because it's like when you want to try to stay relevant, right? You would probably
Yeah.
make an accusation or go
Years
I mean,
and
look,
years and
look,
years
look,
down the line.
here's the
How
thing.
long ago did this happen?
Here's the thing. Yes, that can happen where people lie.
True.
but it also can be real.
Sure.
But there's a huge gray area where the coercion, especially because I heard someone say today online, you know, because it's about like using your power to coerce and stuff. It's like,
Right.
you know, and this is Ocho Cinco on Theo Vaughn's podcast, right? Listen, but this is what he said.
I played FIFA with him on Xbox Live one time. I just wanted to...
He was just saying, and I thought he made a great point. He goes like, look, ask anybody, like especially, you know, people who got money like him and shit or whoever. He's like, just ask yourself, if you didn't have the money and power and shit that you had, would you have that same bitch you had? No.
Of course not.
No, that's a valid point.
Yeah, and it's as simple as that. So it's like if someone's blatantly using it rather than like subtly using it, you know, we could go order a round of shots for everybody.
Right.
That's coercion. That is like using your money. It's just weird. I mean, obviously it could be blatant, right? Where you go, hey, you have to suck this male escort's dick or you will not get the thing, right? Which I guess is what they're alleging. There's some stuff like that. And then also he beat her up on camera, right?
He kicked her in the face or something.
Right, right. So there's like, but the defense, which is doing the best argument in my opinion, is hey, yeah, they were abusive to one another. He was not a great person, right? But he didn't human traffic. Yeah, and I think that's their argument because they can't go, hey, this guy's completely innocent of everything. They can go, look, they were freaks.
Yeah.
I don't think it's illegal to have 1,000 bottles of baby oil.
Yeah, I don't think that. Everybody, they really honed in on that, and I'm like, look, okay.
It's a headline.
It's
a headline economy we're in.
It is a little weird, but at the same time, if the motherfucker got a great deal on it and it was in bulk, and it's like, I'm going to save a lot of money. We're going to use.
He was at Costco.
Bro, you know, like I'm just saying, like
a deal's a deal.
A deal's a deal, dude.
Well, that's what I've said about like, you know, drugs, right? If you get caught with a certain amount, it's like you get hit with distribution. It's like, what if I'm a bargain shopper?
Yeah,
I could be using this weed for the next 4 years for myself.
Yeah, how do you know I'm not going to like keep this kilo for the next fucking? Well, we know not going to make it past the night.
And they're like Justin. It's broken up into individual bags with other people's names on them. Like these are different personalities.
You know, to that point though, if it wasn't in baggies but in one of those fucking daily pill planner things, are we going to argue that it's distribution? Because then it seems like it's for me, right? Because it's fucking Sunday through Monday or whatever, or Monday through Sunday.
Right.
So it's kind of funny, right? Like I always thought about that, like when people get busted with little baggies. I'm like, well, what if it was broken up in a pill container? And they were like,
that would probably help. It would probably help. It limits you to 7 bags.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, I'd get the monthly. They got to make a monthly one. It's a little crazy, but they make a monthly one.
Yeah, what the fuck? They start having designs.
This fucking tablet of like, you're like, well, today we do cocaine, tomorrow it's Molly. But yeah, I don't know, because I always thought about that, right? You could say it's distribution, whatever you want, but like I literally used to like in my younger days,
long ago, way past statute of limitations.
When I didn't have a lot of money and I was buying weed, I would break it down a gram a day. I'd be like, I can't smoke more than a gram a day. So
a ration man.
Yeah, I would leave it in separate baggies. I'd buy an eighth and then I'd break it up immediately. And like somebody told me one time, they're like, well, if you get stopped that in your pocket, like they're gonna get you for distribution. And I'm like, no, I'll just explain to them. And then I'm like, well, that sounds so fucking stupid. I'll just explain to them.
I'll just tell them.
That's how an innocent person.
but I'm saying, like, you can get caught up in bullshit. And you're like, I'm legitimately just, bro, I'm poor, and I know I can't smoke more than this today. But
yeah,
I can see. So I've always been.
Oh, is it a crime to save money?
Right.
The argument for distribution just always seems like, you know, it's different if you've got scale and a bunch of money on.
You're catching packaging materials. You're catching.
There's just, dude. And the thing that is so annoying about the laws in this country is they make these laws knowing that these are going to be so like such a stretch. But they're like, okay, cool. All we have to do is stick this guy with 20 charges, but only 6 of them will stick. But as long as we get him with the 20, we can get him into the system. Now he's processed. Now he's in jail. Now he's got to get bond.
18 will be dropped.
Yeah.
He'll plead out to these two
so
because
it's just like, it's
you know what? When I watch so much body cam footage, it's like all I watch.
Yeah.
The biggest content creators in the world are cops because every single one of them is streaming 24/7. Right.
Yep.
I watch these videos of like in Arizona and Arkansas and shit where there's like these through interstates and shit. And they'll pull over somebody, right? And they'll go, this is one where they get you. There's a quote, show me the man and I'll show you the crime.
Okay.
Right? Because you can get someone for anything.
Right.
So, but they do this one where they pull people over and they just so happen to find the people with, 100 pounds of methamphetamine in the trunk, right? And they pulled them over for following too close, not 1 car length per 10 miles an hour.
Just some BS.
Yeah. And it's just like, there's no way you're out there making that pullover unless you have some other suspicion. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like, or it's blatantly dangerous, It's just one of those ones like, I don't know. It's just one of those ones like loitering or like them saying, hey, I smell weed.
Yeah.
What if no one else is here to corroborate that?
Yeah. How do you know?
And
How
well,
do you
now
know
that it's legal, it's even weirder.
Yeah, it's stuff, dude. And you smell weed. I'll be driving on the highway and all of a sudden I smell weed because there's a car over here smoking a blunt. Whatever. It doesn't matter. But my buddy Paul used to ride around in a Nissan Altima that was tinted out, like tinted
Quit
hardcore.
bragging.
And fucking, the best drivers in the world drive Altimas. But he actually is a great driver. So we would get pulled over a lot in that car because people would assume that he was up to no good just because they probably associated with a certain demographic. Okay. So one night we're leaving Fishhead. Him and I used to go to Fishhead on Thursday nights. It was buy one, get one free. And I would black out every fucking night. It was amazing. I loved it. I'm a big Jaeger bomb guy, dude. So like getting a fucking Jaeger bomb and a Stein is just like, let's go. Anyways, we're leaving there one night and we're getting ready to smoke. Wait, we were smoking. We had a bowl and shit. We're going like, I don't know, 0.3 miles. Like not even. Like maybe half a mile at the most, right? We're going to somebody else's house that lives really close by. We turn on this road and this car is like right on his bumper. And he's like, what the fuck, man? So he just gives it a little bit of gas to get a little bit of distance. And we're smoking this bowl. It just so happened to be a fucking cop. So we're hitting this bowl. We get the little distance. He hits the lights on us. Put everything away real quick. The cop pulls him over and he's like, yeah, I noticed you were trying to speed away from me. And he's like, no, dude, you were like riding my ass. So he's like, I didn't even break the speed limit. Like it's 35. We were going 30. I noticed you were riding my ass. I went to 35. He's like, well, I pulled you over because you were speeding and you tried to get away from me. And he's like, and those are blunt ashes on your lap. That's what he said.
Blunt
Mine is
ashes.
we're smoking cigarettes, right?
This is my grandfather. What are you talking about? I just never mind.
And me being the guy I am, I leaned in and I said, well, I just want to know what defines blunt ashes from regular. I just want to know from my own personal.
Yeah.
How do you? And so he gets mad. He pulls us out of the car, right?
I'm actually a trained drug expert.
Right, exactly, right. And so for a fucking hour, this guy is going through every nook and cranny of his car. And my buddy Paul, he was very unorganized back then, so he had like 30 different pieces of clothing in the back seat. So he's going through every pocket of the jeans and the khakis and all this shit. Mine, we're standing out there waiting for this
And
dude
he's
to go
not
through his whole
refolding
set.
them how they were.
Yeah, not at all. Not at all. Nothing was put back the way it was supposed to be. And so the whole time he's like, I could smell it. I'm gonna get these drugs. Blah 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 blah. We have 2 ounces, 2 bowls, 2 grinders, and I forget what else between the two of us hidden in this car. Not even hidden, just kind of put behind the pouch of the back seat. Like how there's always a pouch in the back seat. We do all this stuff. He did all this weird stuff to me that made me feel like it wasn't a real cop. Like at one point he pulled me out,
jerking you
and
off.
he was jerking me off, and he took my shoes off. He made me take my shoes off.
Started giving me
Didn't
money.
look into him, and then he told me to go sit over there. He makes me take my shoes off and go sit over there. Okay, I go to walk away, and he picks my shoes up and throws them at me. He's like, "Take these with you," but he didn't look into them. So I was like, "Why do you have me take them out?" And then at another point in time, he's talking to me, and I had my hands in my pocket, and he was like, "Put your hands up." So I go like this. And he goes, put them down. So then I go like this. And he goes, no, put them back up. And I go like this. And he goes, you're going
Hey, this
too...
sounds like dude who got shot in the face. That one it?
Bro.
Hey, unlock the door. Boom.
He goes, you're putting your hands too high. You're putting your hands too low. And so I start doing this. And I went...
The cop goes, you know any Eminem?
Yeah, exactly.
Rap for me, motherfucker.
He's like,
hey,
rap
white
for me,
boy.
rap for me, bro.
White boy.
He's like, you know the way I am. So I'm doing like this, and he goes, it looks like you're raising the roof right now. What are you doing?
For what?
And I'm like, I don't know where you want to put my hands. And he's like, put them out to your side. So I go like this, and he's like, fine. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, now go sit over there. And I'm like, okay. So I go sit down, and I look at Paul, and I
What
was
in
like,
the fuck?
I don't think this is a real fucking cop, bro.
I don't think this
I was
guy's
like, this
fucking
is
with us.
crazy. Like, so this was an hour, okay? And then he couldn't find anything. Somehow he didn't find anything. Mind you, this is what we did. I put the shit right behind Paul's seat. It would have been very obvious. It's a pocket. Why wouldn't you look in there? Somehow he didn't look in there. I don't understand it to this day. I still don't understand how he didn't look in there. It's a very obvious place to look. If I was a cop, the first place I would look.
Yeah, it sounds like
So-
he was fucking with you guys.
He didn't look there. And then he puts us back in the car and he comes up to the window and goes, I got the canine unit coming. So you can either admit it to me now or we're going to get you.
And look, I know you and the person you're talking about. What are we doing?
Exactly.
What are we doing?
Well, Paul goes, well, I don't have anything.
Paul goes, we're white, dude. Leave us alone.
Paul's like, I'm from Linthicum.
Is that you've seen the Ultima? We get
The
it, but
promised
now
land.
we've seen that. You've seen the Ultima.
But that's what I think would happen. I think he thought.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thought
so,
it was black kids,
Bro.
hoodlums, gangsters,
yeah,
thugs.
basically.
Oh,
so
yeah.
he puts back in the car. He says he's gonna bring the canine. Paul goes, well, I don't have anything in here, so you can bring the canine all you want. And I'm looking at Paul like, motherfucker, what are you doing? Like, let's just cut a deal. Fuck it. Like, so end all be all. He goes back to his car, comes back, throws our licenses at us, and goes, just get the hell out of my way. He pulled us over right here. We literally went 4 or 5 houses down and then pull into where we're going. And so he's looking at us and he's like, what the fuck? Like this. And we're like, bro, we tried to explain to you,
what
this
the
is
fuck
where
to
we're going.
you,
We're literally
guy?
just going right here. And then I'm like, not only were we blackout drunk and there's mad weed in the car, what just happened? I can't
That's
believe.
crazy.
Dude, we got pulled over twice that week. And both times Paul was hammered. And both
Throwing
times
Paul under the
we got
bus
away.
on this episode,
The second
huh?
time, look, shout out to Paul McNell, one of the best drivers in the world. I'm gonna say that right now. The first time was leaving Brass Rail, and we're hammered. He's wearing a fucking inmate prison outfit because it was Halloween, so he's wearing a jumpsuit,
Hey,
right?
bro.
And we get pulled over, and Paul, this is my
Bro,
buddy.
getting pulled over in an inmate.
Bro, it
outfit,
was so
drunk,
funny. I'm wearing a
driving.
beer keg fucking costume, and he's
That's
in this
nuts.
fucking. So, and then Paul, he was all slick. He puts his hand in his center console, sprays cologne in his hand, and goes, and then turns and talks to the cop.
What
Cop
a
didn't see anything.
psychopath.
That's what I said. I was like, I can't believe you did that. And he's like, I don't want him to smell
Dude,
my
if
breath.
your breath smells like Aqua di
They
Gio,
know.
you're
That's
fucking
what I was
Bro,
gonna say.
you
Like,
smell like
it's like you're pouring a
You smell like a
your
Venus
mouth. Like,
sport.
that's
Bro, if
not
you're
right.
not an Indian guy, and as you're talking
Bro.
to me, I smell fucking
When I watched
cologne
him
heavy.
do that, I wanted to throw up. I was like, oh my
Ugh.
God. And so the cop runs up to the window and goes, how you guys doing tonight? And Paul's like, we're fine. And the cop literally does this. We're on 10. And he goes, just slow down for me, all right?
He goes,
And runs
he goes,
back.
is that Aqua di
Damn.
Gio?
Yeah, bro.
guys
Straight
cool?
up. I couldn't
What
believe
the
it.
fuck?
I was
Yeah,
like,
you
this
got
is
cooler.
crazy. And so we pull off the
Can I
next
say Dave
exit.
in front of you guys?
Bro, we pull off the next exit and Paul just throws up every fucking where. I was like, not only did you not have to do that, like at all, because we were clearly fine. I was like, I can't believe you just stomached a handful of cologne. Like just
Bro, that's a wild move and smart
Bro.
thinking on his feet.
every time we've gotten pulled over, he's been like so like if I was gonna commit a crime, I'm gonna commit a crime with him.
I mean, yeah.
I shouldn't say that in case we do commit a crime together.
Yeah,
I love that.
That never
That
happens.
don't work.
He like,
Dude, it was crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
The way he
smell-
was able to just lick it and not because he literally licked it and then turned and was like, "Hey, how you doing?"
That's
and I was
so
like,
crazy.
How are you able to,
Poison,
dude? I was like sitting there going, because it smells like cologne in the car. I'm like, this makes me want to fucking gag.
Ew,
that you
dude,
just
in
licked
his
this.
mouth. Ew, dude, that's
Straight up,
foul.
dude. Yeah, it's crazy. That was a crazy week. That happened on Tuesday, and then the fucking shit with the guy that I'm pretty sure was just fucking with us. I don't even think he was a real cop. That happened on Thursday, so it was like 2 days apart from each other.
Dude, watching police impersonators is fun. Getting caught.
Yeah, dude, I saw
There's
one.
so many.
The guy was in jeans and a 2-door Mustang pulling people over, and I'm like, how the fuck is this not a red flag?
Dude,
Like-
dude, there's so many of them, and a lot of times they like work security or a funeral service, traffic.
something
You know,
like
it's some like offshoot.
To be fair, I've seen him in minivans. I've seen him in like pickup trucks. So I'm just like, oh well, if he's got lights, like I'm gonna assume.
Yeah, I
The
guess. Yeah.
jeans, I guess, is gonna be a little bit of a, but still, like I don't
Undercover,
I don't know.
maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, as a
Depends what I-
civilian, yeah.
Depends what I see.
Yeah,
You show
and who
me a-
knows how long
a
they get away
badge
with
or a
it.
Gun,
Yes.
I'm like, well, I'm
Yeah,
gonna do
that's the
whatever you
scary
say.
part.
Right. I'm not just going to assume you're not, because the psychosis, right? to
We try to assume
to be
you're not.
doing this as not a cop, there's no
Ooh,
way.
yeah,
My
right?
immediate thought is there's
you
no
gotta
way.
have some balls. Like,
There's no way.
you
Yeah.
know, how
There's
do you
a fine
hold
line
that
between
together?
stupidity and bravery. You know.
It does seem like that because I guess if you really think about that, right? In society, there's certain things that you're just like, there's no way that someone's going to do this.
Yeah.
That's, one of them, right? It's just like, so some of those things, it's like, I mean, look at 9/11. I bet you before 9/11, no one was like, no one's ever going to fly into
Nah, I
a fucking
knew it.
building.
I knew
Oh, you
it.
knew it? You're like, bro, I've been thinking.
I fucking knew those towers were going down. Dude, honestly, I never even knew they existed prior to that.
Really?
Yeah, no. I didn't know what the Twin Towers were.
I only
They're
knew
like,
because
they
of
hit the
Home
Twin
Alone 2.
Towers. I'm like, the what? Is that an amusement park? Why do I give a fuck? What do you-
Superman's gone?
Yeah. Is it in Maryland? No, who gives a fuck? No. That was actually pretty heavy, I remember. But yeah, I didn't know what they were.
Yeah, dude.
I still don't.
I only knew what they were because of Home Alone 2. The VHS had them on the cover. That's the only reason why I knew what the fuck they were.
You know what they were to me on that?
Skyscrapers.
Yeah,
It's
New York buildings.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, New York skyscrapers.
Yeah, that's exactly what you mean because there's so many which is also insane, right? New York
I would
doubled
have
down.
taken
They
out the
built even
Statue of Liberty.
taller
Statue of
shit.
Liberty would have been tougher.
Yeah.
Less.
I think
deaths,
people were
guess.
less cared that like people wouldn't care as much because you know what would happen? Some New Yorker would be like, well, the fucking address is New Jersey, so
Technically,
they
it wasn't even
lost.
us.
We didn't lose. Like, you know what I mean?
Nah,
Everything
they'd
would be
have been like,
fine.
the Statue of Liberty was a gift from the French. Who gives
Yeah,
a fuck? I'm
like
just
fuck
Yeah,
the
yeah,
French. I don't know. Yeah, I say that, but I don't know.
They
I
put
love
up a
the
new one
French.
of like
They're the-
they put up a new one of Optimus Prime. You know, he's got like a
Yeah.
fuck around, find out like bandana on. You know?
Yeah, we should get like a new figure to like
Yeah, we
represent.
need something tougher,
Yeah.
dude.
We need something wild.
We need a FAFO soldier up there with like bionic arms.
Yeah,
you know
something
what
like
I'm saying?
that, or like Rambo with a fucking machine gun or
Exactly,
something.
exactly.
Yeah, something like that. Actually, they should do like a statue with like Arnold on Rambo's back or something, right?
Ooh,
Because
maybe
that'd be
them
so
sucking each other's
intimidating.
dicks.
Yeah, something like that.
Like a
Real
69-ing?
a 69. Because the more intimidating. People would be like, you know what, maybe we should skip this country. Let's go see what's going on in fucking Canada or
Yeah,
something. You know?
yeah.
These muscular dudes are 69 each other.
Is that my dad?
There's somebody over there.
Yes.
Oh.
Could you
Dude,
see
you know
who
what's
it was?
fucked up? I literally was like, oh, I've never
I
met
could.
you.
I could.
Was it a male or female?
Female.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I literally was like, oh, I've never met your dad. And then I'm like, well, yeah, no shit.
Yeah, no.
Fucking shit.
Well, yeah, I know. I do that joke all the time, and some people don't know that my dad's dead, so it's not funny to them. It's not like a funny joke. Like, people will call me, like, dude, customers will call me for jobs, dude. I'll be like, Dad? And they'll be like, no, it's like to Melissa. And I'm like, oh, hey. But they don't even know my dad's dead, so they're just like, think that I had a mistake.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, there's certain things I do just for me.
You're like, maybe his
at this
dad's
point.
name is Mel. That's close in the phone book.
Yeah. There's certain things at this point that are just for me.
Dude, one time, I'll never forget this, in DC, there was a phone ringing. Like, people used to call payphones, like, especially like the neighborhood I grew up in. There was like a liquor store probably about like 8 or 9 blocks from my house.
What a blast from the past.
Yeah, dude. And there would be like 5 payphones on the wall, and that's where they would like DC in the 90s was a big crack epidemic. That was like the fucking thing. Everybody was on crack and shit. And PCP, those were huge.
Oh, PCP is big in DC.
Bro, the guy that lived across the street from me would be on PCP all the time. And as a kid, one of my favorite things to do was to watch him trying to make it from this end of the block to this end of the block. Because it would
high
be
stepping.
wild, bro. He'd be all, dude, he would start arguing with something. He would fight himself and he would hold himself back. He would pull himself away from, dude, he'd be rolling around in people's yards and shit. And everyone knew, like, everyone was privy to what was going on.
Yeah, you can't.
They're like, fuck, here we go. Like, and so I would watch this guy, dude. Sometimes it would take him 20 minutes
How
to get from here.
entertaining.
Dude, it was awesome.
Nothing on TV is keeping
was so good.
Jerry Springer,
Bro.
you don't got shit on the guy on PCP rolling through yards fighting himself. There's nothing more entertaining, bro.
I would be watching like fucking Raw, like Attitude Era WWE Raw, and I'd be like, you know what, Stone Cold, you're great and all, but this is fucking.
Yeah, you're cool,
this
but
is
this is the real deal.
Dude. And sometimes he would just he would just sleep in people's yards, right? He would fucking pass out there and that would be it. But it was like everyone knew like who this guy was and what
That's
was going
PCP
on.
Larry. Don't worry about
Dude,
him.
It was crazy, bro.
PCP's a weird one. You ever done it?
No, I haven't, but
It's a weird one. You don't want it.
Yeah. It's I don't know, man. There's certain ones I haven't dabbled in. Dabbled. That's not even.
I
a word,
liked
but
it.
dabbled.
I heard it and I just thought, you know what? I like it.
Just making up my own lingo.
Yeah.
Fuck it. But yeah, there's certain ones I haven't fucked with, you know, just because it didn't interest me. Like, I've always been more of like in a past life, by the way, in case anybody from work is watching, I've always been an upper guy. I've never been a downer guy. So when people talked about like perks and stuff like that shit never intrigued me because I was just kind of like, dude, I'd rather, sounds crazy, but I'd rather be up for a couple of days than, you know, fucking asleep for 'em.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't know. I think like outside of like psychedelics and shit, man, cocaine, I haven't really done anything too intense. I've never done meth. I've never done
Yeah,
like,
I've never tried drugs, but I
heroin or
could
crack.
imagine.
My uncle used to try to offer me crack a lot, but
I could
that's a different story.
I can imagine like in the uppers and the downers. Crack's a dirty drug.
Dude, I bet. But
Dirty.
everyone always seems like they're having the time of their lives.
They're
bro.
not. Dude, even while I was doing it, I knew I hated it. It was weird. It was like, that's how compulsive it is, right? Where it's like, I'm going to smoke this shit. The first hit's going to feel good.
And that's
like,
it.
real good, right? But then for 3 minutes, right? And then paranoia, needing another hit is the
Fair.
next hours of my life. Hours.
But is there levels to crack?
The
What do
paranoia
you mean?
was
Well,
unreal.
there's levels to everything. Like, you get good coke, you get shitty coke. You can get good weed, you get shitty weed.
Yes,
Is there
great question.
Good meth?
is a
What
great
did I
question.
say?
That's a really
Crack,
good
crack.
question.
That's a
Yeah.
great question. There's absolutely shitty crack and good crack.
Really? Okay.
And the best crack is terrible. the premier, the very best crack you
That's
can
fair.
get,
Listen,
bro,
that's fair.
is dirty.
I
And,
didn't-
and it's like even pure, it's like the unfortunate truth of what it does mechanically into your brain. It's just quick. You know what I mean? So yes, there's stuff that can taste more pure, or you can it burns cleaner because it's supposed to just melt right away. Some of it'll turn black and shit. There's there are levels. There are absolutely different quality levels and pure, you know, whatever they're cutting it with. But the best of crack
Yeah.
is cool for 3 minutes.
Everything about it always seems so dirty too, right? You got like the
Dude.
chore boy and the fucking glass, and the glass is all like rezzed up and shit, which is kind of funny, right? Because if you go to smoke a bong and it's rezzed up, no big deal. But if like you see someone with a crack pipe, you're like, oh, what a piece of shit, you are, right? Like it's like the same concept, but it's kind of funny. Like I don't know because I haven't done cocaine in a fair amount of time. Like I try to stay away from it. That's not, you know, it's one of the things that I used to struggle with back when I was younger. But even then, when people would tell you it was pure, I'd always be like, "You're full of shit, man. Like, there's no like, I don't know if
don't
I've
get
ever
here
even
pure.
touched pure. Yeah,
No.
everything's stepped
It
on.
don't
when
get
comes
to
into this
America
country.
pure.
No fucking way.
Now you can get very close to pure.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
You
yeah.
can get it straight out of the brick.
Yeah,
You can get it
but
fish
it's
scale.
still, yeah,
but
yeah.
Pure
Fish scale.
is a fine line because you're going from a plant to this processed thing.
Exactly,
So what is
yeah,
that exactly? I think pure is like liquid. It's like still not even fully
like
processed.
unless you're bringing me cocoa leaves to chew on, what the fuck? Yeah, right.
Exactly.
This shit was ran through gasoline, dog. Like, what are you talking
Why
about?
does it smell like diesel?
Yeah,
if you're
yeah.
saying it's yeah.
Dude, I used to have this guy. He fucking So at one point in time, cocaine got a little expensive, and this motherfucker would charge $94 a gram, and I would get so annoyed. I'm like, just make it 95, bro. This 94 shit is like, we're dicking around with fucking dollars and change. I give him $100, and now he owes me $6, and I'm like, just add it to the next one. It was like a fucking rewards card. After like
You got a
10, I'm
punch
like, hey,
card.
free gram, you know,
Yeah.
like fucking. But yeah, and then there would be like, I don't know. I remember this one time I was in the bar. This was up in West York Inn. God, 2012 maybe. And it was a friend of mine's birthday. I surprised him by bringing a bunch of people up. He moved up to York, PA. So a lot of people didn't come up to see him because he moved like an hour away. But I got a bunch of people to go up. Hey, we're gonna go out for Keith's birthday. Blah blah blah. And he gets all fucked up. He's like, "Fucking, I'll try cocaine tonight." And I'm like, "All right, well, let's find some." So I'm surveying the bar. And this dude's talking to me, and we're like, you know, talking about it. And he goes, "I'll tell you what, man. I'll give you 2 grams for $60. And immediately I was like, bro, either you're a narc or this is gonna be the worst cocaine I've ever heard of in my life. I was like, no. And I walked away from it. And I remember people in the group being like, just get it. And I'm like, nah, dog. I was like, come on. Like, just think about this for a second. 2 grams for $60. I'm like, nah, dude. Like,
it's too good to be true. It's
yeah,
too
this
good to
guy's
be
either
true.
a police or he's gonna beat the fuck out of me for the $60, or it's gonna be the worst cocaine we've ever had in our lives. And at that point, what's the point? What are we
Bro,
doing?
listen to this. I'm in Thailand, right? In Thailand, it's hard to get cocaine. They got all kind of different drugs, right? But not cocaine.
Yeah.
For whatever fucking reason, bro. I've never seen anything like it. They don't have
kind of where all the other shit that they let fly.
Yeah. They're doing made up designer drugs, you know, and it's like, just do coke. It would be safer at this point to get real cocaine. So look, we're on Cal Sound Road or something. It's Bourbon Street. We're in the Bourbon Street of fucking Bangkok, Thailand, bro. The Bourbon Street of Bangkok, Thailand,
Probably
right?
wilder than bourbon,
dude. Oh, way wilder. I mean, it's that version though of Thailand, right? So it's just there's barkers, right? There's the vendors everywhere. It's Bourbon Street, but on steroids. What time are we at? We all right?
120 something. Yeah,
Okay. So I had been over there for a little while. We had been drinking. Some guy who looked like semi-young and like, you know, kind of cool came up to me and they offered us something. I don't know if it was a fucking trip, a tuk trip to a fucking whatever.
Oh, whatever, yeah.
Who knows, right? He came up, he's like, you guys need anything? And I'm like, you got cocaine? And he's like, I can get it here in like 5 minutes. And I'm like, all right, go ahead. And I told him, I'm like, look, I need to see it before I buy it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to buy it without seeing it. And he's like, yeah, that's no problem. He's like, my buddy John will bring it. Right? I'm like, cool.
And start with a guy name out.
Listen. This guy shows up, right? John.
Yeah.
He has a scar. Listen, I'm not making any of this up. He has a scar on his face, right?
His name should be Scar.
Listen, his scar's so bad though, he can't blink this eye.
Oh fuck!
Because his eyelid's
shit.
fucked up, right? So there's a non-blinking eye,
He's
right?
just like hitting you with a
And
wink.
Yes. And John, right? John doesn't give the coke to this guy who I like kind of knew for 10 minutes at least. You know, he's like, walk with me. So I'm like, all right. So my buddies stay back. I walk with him. Busy street. I mean, again, it's chaos. He knows I want to see it first. I don't give him no money yet. He hands it to me, and we're walking. I look at it. It's double bagged. It's fully powdered, and it's in double bagged. I hand it back to him. I go, bro.
Yeah, because that seems red flaggy. It's like
red
you're hiding
flag.
something.
It's
dude.
red flaggy, and also I can't check
Yeah,
it. Like
you
I
can't
need
open
to.
it up. You just double.
I can't check it.
Why
So-
would you double bag? Like double bagging it to me automatically makes you think you're fucking. You're setting it up or something.
So look. I go to hand it back to him, and he's like, "Nah, I'm not trying. Nah, that's you." And I'm like, "Oh no, I see what he's trying to do." So I'm like, "No," and I let it be known, right? I go, "No, take this back," right? So he takes it back. He's like, "Bro, you can try it." He's like, "Open it up," and I'm like, "It's too messy around here." And he's like, "Where's your hostel?" I'm like, "My hostel's like 2 streets over." He's like, "Hop on my moped. I'll take you to your hostel." And my buddies are like, "Do not do this, bro. Do not." And I'm like, fuck it. I'm like, they're not gonna let you in. He's like, they don't need to. He's like, they'll let you in. I'll wait for you. I'm like, okay. I'm like, well, all right. So I hop on the fucking moped with Scarface. We go 2 streets over. He stops out front. He gives me the bag. I go into the hostel, go up to my room. And at this point, I'm like, oh, it must be real.
Right, 'cause why
I
would you go
open it
through
up,
all this-
Completely fake.
That's crazy. Why would he go through all that? Like,
Bro, I couldn't believe it, bro. As I'm walking up the stairs, I'm happy as a motherfucker, right? Because
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, this seems like
Yeah, you're like, all right,
because
this
he didn't
guy's
need the money
Well,
first.
what'd you do? Yeah, I didn't know what you did.
So look, I
What the
go
fuck?
up there, I open it up. no smell, taste it, no. I'm like, bro, I literally almost like chuckled. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Crazy.
So I walk out to him and he's like smiling and shit, like waiting for me. And I walk out and I go, bro, nah, that ain't real. And he's like, nah, come on, bro, I'll go get you something. Come on, I was going. And he's like, he's acting like, yeah, that was on me, bro. Now you hop on, we'll go get the real. I go, bro,
I had to make sure you were legit.
Yeah. I'm like, bro, get out of here. It was so interesting because that must have worked for him before.
It had to have.
Either someone goes, all right, if he's gonna let me take it, it must be real. Take the money, or they're too scared to go out and tell him.
It's the second
or
one.
maybe, whatever it was, it must have worked for him. That's all the same thing.
Yeah.
Why would you let me go figure out it's for sure fake?
That seems like really. That almost seems like.
Bro, you couldn't blink.
Dude, that almost seems like insane. It's like
his name definitely wasn't John.
Oh fuck no. Yeah. The trustworthy guy with the fucking scar on his eye.
Man.
Maybe that was what he relied on though, is because he probably looked intimidating. Maybe he
definitely
relied on
did.
people going up to the room and be like, "Well, I can't go back and tell him it's fake. He's gonna fuck me up." Like,
yeah. And he really did want me to go with him to go somewhere, and I'm like, bro,
fuck
nah,
no.
this
Why would
is it.
I don't know you.
Yeah, he's like, yeah. I'm like, I'll
We're
walk,
in a country I
I'll
don't
walk
know,
back.
like-
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
Fuck that, dude.
Yeah,
But it probably's worked. I guarantee you, that's how he's gotten people in the past.
Yeah.
So New Orleans has a lot of scams like that on Bourbon Street, dude.
Oh, dude,
A lot
I
of
went
that
to New
shit.
Orleans with a group of guys, 18 of us, for a Ravens game. There's somebody who wants to buy cocaine, right? They come up to me. They're like, Justin, we need you to find this cocaine, right? I'm like, all right, chill out. I'll find it. They get a few beers in them, right? We leave like the first bar. We're on Bourbon Street in a group of 18 bros.
Yeah.
And the guy who has the cocaine or wants to buy the cocaine has $1,000 for it, right? And he's saying out loud,
Oh fuck.
Yeah, what a fucking fool.
I got $1,000 for anyone who has cocaine right now. And I literally break off. I'm like, I can't be around that.
That's
I
insanity.
leave, right? I go away from them. Me and a few guys just leave them, right? He calls me like an hour later. Hey, bro, come to the hotel. We got it. I'm like, cool. Get up there.
He got
Got. Yeah. Walk up there. I look at it. See it. They're like messing around with it. They're like, what do you think? I'm like the drug shaman. They're like, Justin, what do you think? I'm like, fake. And they're like, we're gonna do it anyway. And then swear to God, they didn't want to dude, they like as if there would be some like little bit in. I have no clue why, but they were jamming their nose up with whatever this fake powder was.
That's fucking insane, dude.
Yeah.
I will say, like,
Dude, true story. If you need cocaine, go to the strip club. Ask the strippers, ask the bouncers, you'll find
dude,
it.
There's a lot of gimmicks and scams
Casino,
down there,
strip
bro.
club. Go to the seedy places, find the coke.
I should do this outside. That wasn't our trip, right? That was a different trip.
New Orleans?
Yeah.
I didn't go to New Orleans with you.
Oh, you're right.
I didn't
You went
go to that
Indy.
one.
You went to Indy.
Yes.
That's right.
No. And you would have remembered this. This was a big point of the trip.
Bro, so there's so many scams. So I went down there 2 years ago for a Ravens Saints game. I'm a Saints fan, and I love the city of New Orleans. It's one of my fucking favorite places,
yeah.
dude. I'll tell you right now.
I'm sorry, by the way.
Hopefully
that gets better.
Once
but-
Drew Brees retired, I already knew we were going to enter dark days.
The
But
genuine
the
sorry.
problem,
That's one of
the
the worst
problem
things
is,
to do.
yeah,
man.
dude,
Like,
That's way worse than talking shit.
They're
Hey,
like-
bro, come here. Bring it in, bro.
You know what's
Bring it
great
in.
though? No one ever gives a Saints fan a hard time, bro. Everyone's so sympathetic. Like if I was like,
think
yeah, I'm a
people kinda
Jets
like the
fan, they'd be
Saints,
like, what
though.
a fucking
Yeah.
idiot. You're stupid.
There's an interesting
Dude, something about that. People
People did
respect
kinda
it
like-
for
we
some
all love
reason.
fucking New Orleans, dude.
Dude, it's a good
like,
time.
That's part
True.
of it.
And they were airing shit out for a while. Like the Saints were just fun. Like I feel like
Dude, the Breeze bombs.
that's
and
when they were
in
that's what I mean. Like,
2012,
as a third party that's not that involved.
2006 to like 2013, and even from 2013 to the rest of his retirement. But them years between 2006 and 2013.
You've been to the stadium?
Oh yeah,
Loud as a motherfucker.
dude, one of the loudest stadiums.
Bro, we were up at the
One
very
of the-
top.
right,
People
you
were
went.
banging on the fucking
Yeah.
dude. It was.
One of
I
the
loved
loudest
it. I
stadiums.
loved
It's
it.
jealous of
And
that.
they
Good
pump
stadium.
noise. Apparently, they're pumping noise.
That's what they say, bro. But
Yeah.
that stadium's so fucking loud. It's
Bro,
crazy.
you feel it.
Yeah, dude, you
Incredible
feel the
time.
vibration. It's a
Incredible.
good stadium. I like it a
I
lot.
loved it.
So I take some friends of mine go. They're all Ravens fans. They've never been to New Orleans before. Okay, they want to stay in Bourbon Street. I'm like, all right, that's fine. I personally don't like to stay on Bourbon Street. I like to stay a little bit away from the just to get just a little because New Orleans. I like to party, so I go with a mindset and my body prepared to party, which is fine. Not everybody's ready for that. So after like 2 days of it, some people are like, I'm worn out. And it's like, well, if you're on Bourbon Street, you're in the middle of chaos 24/7. There's nothing even if you try to escape your hotel room, you're hearing it, So we go, and before we leave the hotel, I said, listen, there's a lot of scams out here. People are going to approach you. I said, people are going to come up to you. They're going to put beads on you, and then they're going to want money. They're going to come up to you and tell you that they can bet you where they can bet you where they know where you got your shoes. That's the line. I bet you $10 I know where you got your shoes. So many out of town people are like, this motherfucker doesn't know I shop at Bosco's. All right, tell me where I got my shoes.
The store.
And they say, you got your shoes on your feet on Bourbon Street. Now give me $10 because that's where your shoes are. And then what they do is they all work together.
That's where you got them. You got them right here. They're right here.
They work together. So if you refuse to pay them, they just let out a certain whistle, and all these fucking buskers and all these guys doing these scams.
All these
They
haggard,
grew
all
up,
these haggard
dog.
motherfuckers limping
Yeah,
and shit,
bro, all these
rolling
like,
out from under trash cans.
all these tweakers and shit.
Yeah.
They gang up, dude. And so now you got like 10
I'd like
of
to
them,
see a little community there.
Yeah, kinda.
Bro,
Kinda.
those hustlers down there, they got each other's back big time.
Dude, the hustlers they're so
time.
good at it. There's an interesting thing, like, strong arm robbery, right?
Yeah.
What they're doing is different.
Yeah.
Soft arm robbery.
Yeah, a little bit,
I
a little
wonder
bit,
if it has
but-
that name.
Yeah.
You see it in jail and prison, right? Rather than going up and someone like just taking your commissary, right?
a nudge.
They go sit next to you while you're ordering, and they
Yeah.
go like, "Hey man, I'm pretty low this week, man. Just between me and you, can you grab me a soup? You know what I mean?"
yeah.
And there's not a overt threat of I'm gonna fuck
Not
you
at all.
up,
You're
right?
like,
But you're just like, I don't care. It's a soup.
psychologically,
But then-
I'm gonna help you out.
And
Like-
then once you fucking give a little, dude, it's this weird,
Yup,
it's that,
yup.
yeah, bro,
Yeah,
it's
dude.
creepy.
And look, they'll do that-
It's almost more sinister than the strong arm,
Dude,
because
and
it's like,
they'll do the same thing, right? So say they do that trick to you and you give them the $10. As soon as you walk off, they signal down the street to let the others know
we got a sucker
there's
here.
a sucker right here. Straight up, right? Dude,
We
there's
got a mark.
coming from like a city, especially like a ghetto and stuff. Like, dude, I feel like I'm so in tuned
Yeah.
to shit like that.
Yeah,
So I can
yeah.
see it coming before it happens.
Because people are looking for a come up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the other side of that, this happened to us on the first day 3 fucking times, and I got real annoyed because it's a group of 4 of us. Well, so a few other people were there, so it was like 6 of us, right? Every fucking time a guy would approach us to sell cocaine, he would look at the group and just look at me and go, "I got that white girl if you want it." But he would always single me out. And I'm like, what the fuck is it about me? You don't say it to any of these other
You're putting out the
these
vibe.
people, they're more dressed than I am, have more money than me, and it's like for whatever fucking reason, I'm just chilling. They're like, I got that white girl if you want it. I'm like, what about them? They're like, nah, fuck them. But I got you. I'm like, I don't want it. I don't fucking want it.
Yeah.
Dude, it happened 3 times in the first, and then I remember the third guy, I just looked at my buddy Ron. I was like, why the fuck does this keep happening?
Yeah, what am I putting out in the world?
fuck is
Dude,
this?
this one time I had this guy, this cringy ass dude, show me this video, right, of him dancing with this girl. He's at a festival, right? He's dancing with this girl, right? He shows me this video. I don't know this guy that well. First of all, even if I did, showing you, if any of you showed me a video, like, look at me dancing with this girl, it's like just him grinding with some girl
What
at
are
a
you supposed
festival.
to say to that?
What do you say to it, right? I look at it, I'm like, oh, cool, like, who was playing or how was the festival, whatever, right? He nudges me and he goes, 16.
Ooh.
Bro,
Whoa,
bro, as if Mike,
Holy
and
shit.
Mike.
This guy
Holy
speaks my
shit.
language.
Bro, I was so disgusted with myself
You
for
should
like
have been like, what was it about me?
exactly my thought, bro.
I need to
I'm
know.
like, bro, why would you think that was
Oh,
okay?
God, that's
What am
wild.
I putting out in the? I've never seen that. I won't interact with that person. I wasn't even interact with them on a friendship level. It was a business relationship, and ever since then, I won't do business with them because I cannot not
That's
think
so
about that.
wild.
But bro, the
Just assume.
the idea to do it at all, and then to think that this guy would be cool
Yeah,
with this,
and then he's like,
ew, bro,
16.
Don't you got daughters?
Like,
you
whoa,
fucking
yeah,
weirdo?
right, bro. What the
Dude,
fuck is
man.
that?
He's got tattoos. He doesn't care about anything.
Yeah, shit was weird.
He's
man.
that guy that's like, hey, if you guys want to have a sleepover, it's not a problem. If you want to bring your friends over, it's not like, what the
Yeah,
fuck,
he's the dad who
bro?
gets the pool.
Dude, that's like my cousin in high school. She was talking about this teacher that would always go get him Starbucks. And I was like, stay away from that creep. And she's like, no, he's a real nice guy. And I was like, yeah, that's exactly what he's doing here. It's called grooming, dummy. Like, he's like, oh, they trust
Yeah.
me. Like, she gave him her phone number. I'm like, you're a 16-year-old girl. This is a 30-year-old fucking man. He should not have a phone number of somebody that age that is not related to him. Even when you're related, I'd rather talk to your parent, dog. Like, straight up. If my sister had a kid, and the kid hit me up, I'd be like, let me talk to your sister. Like, let me talk to my sister. I'm not, like, and it's so crazy to me that, like, obviously you're young, naive, dumb, whatever, but like, it's nuts. Like, obviously we're more exposed now to see how many people out there are pedophiles. It's way bigger than what you think.
Dude.
It's way bigger than what you think.
It's
There's so
bizarre.
many of them. It's
and
crazy.
then there's pedophile hunters. You seen Bill Belichick got engaged?
Y'all got engaged to that girl.
73 years old to his 24-year-old
Bro.
fiance.
There's so much. So
This is
apparently,
insane.
and I don't know if this is totally true, but so he got the job at UNC.
Did you hear it on the internet?
That's true.
Well, then it's true. If you heard it on the internet.
What also was told is that his fiance is now banned from all of like the facilities.
That's
I
weird.
Why?
well, I don't
guess
know
maybe
exactly.
he's worried about her
Too
seeing
hot and
like
young?
Don't know
Yeah,
exactly. Don't know
maybe.
exactly. But I don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, like, it is kind of a weird thing. Like, he was like a regular fucking guy. I don't know his personal life. Like I just know that he was like one of the best coaches of all time, right? Throughout,
Yeah.
like I didn't know if he was
freak
married.
level.
I don't know.
Put an
anything.
asterisk next
and
to
he's
that.
from here. He's from like Arnold or
Yeah,
like
he's from around this
Yeah,
area.
very close.
Easton or something. I don't know.
But like, yeah, so like when he got fired and then no fucking NFL teams wanted to take him, it was like, okay, weird as fuck.
That's some red flags.
So I thought it was just like, okay, maybe people were just like, oh, it was more Tom Brady than it was Bill Belichick,
Yeah.
when it was definitely both.
yeah, it's a combo, right? I think they needed each other. I don't think one or the other would have been more successful. Like say that they didn't pair up. I don't think Brady would
Him and
have
the
7 fucking yeah.
For sure.
You know,
Yeah.
and I don't think Bill would have as many.
Well, look, it's
wins as
easy.
he's
That
done
that
either.
age gap is incredible. Okay,
it's insane.
It's
That's like
insane. It's
a
insane.
24 and
It's
73 if you
insane.
didn't say it.
Have you seen the? So they do the pictures of. They say this was them in this year, and it's her as like an infant, and it's him as like a 30-year-old man or whatever. You know what I'm saying? They're like,
Bro,
this
like
is both of them in
50-year-old
1990s.
man. Yeah.
If it's one of those things where it's like, okay, he doesn't have the thing with his wife anymore, and he just wants to have like, you know, this pretty girl around, and the trade-off is he just gives her his estate when he's done.
Yeah.
Like I'm
Maybe.
okay
They're
with
both
that.
making
like,
an
yeah,
agreement.
like I'm okay
Yeah, I
with
guess,
that.
listen, yeah.
An argument
It's-
that's not my take, but I heard is, which is funny, but also kind of true, is someone was like, if either one of them are gross, it's her. They're like, he's at least fucking this hot
Yeah,
person.
that's
She's like
true.
fucking
But
this
she's
old
doing it for
gross guy.
money.
Yeah, that's
Huh?
true.
No, I know.
She's not
I'm saying
working.
neither of them are.
So,
They're
like,
making the
what,
agreement.
bro?
I'm just saying they're making the
I would
agreement.
argue both ways.
But yes.
24 at 73 is.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's both kind of gross. Yeah.
24
can't-
at 37 is.
You can't
fucking
even
weird.
argue to be like, oh, they must have some sort of attraction or some sort of bond, bro. Your mindsets are too.
They
different
know. They know
fucking-
they don't. I mean,
They don't even know any of the
At
same
24,
shows.
I don't even think I could figure out what I wanted to do the next fucking day, let alone what I want to do with my life, let alone what I'm doing that night. Like my thoughts were literally like beer money, cocaine money,
Kill my
weed,
stweet,
pussy, cool. Like we're
Memorize
good.
them.
Like
He
we're
was
gonna
just
have a
like,
great night.
Oh shit, Norm from Cheers died, and she's like, "What's Cheers?"
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Who
Right.
the fuck is Norm?
Yeah.
Is that a TikTok?
What are you saying?
He's like, we gotta honor, 9/11, and she's like, oh, what's that? Like, I
She
wasn't
probably know what
alive
the
then.
Beatles are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he's probably like,
Yeah.
my favorite band's the Beatles. I've seen him 7 times. She's like, what is what?
She's like Oklahoma City bombing. What?
Yeah. Yeah.
What?
Like, yeah. Like all that stuff. It's kind of wild to think about. I think about that with Garrett all the time. I'm like, bro, you were like literally 6 months old when the fucking towers went down.
Yeah.
That's insane.
We're getting old, bro.
Side note, I gotta piss so bad.
We're gonna end this. Thanks for coming.
All
We
right.
didn't get to get into the open mic comedy. Really, I wanted
We
to talk
didn't.
more about it and shit, but we'll have to get you back on.
I would definitely love to come back on. Can I shout out like just two like real
Please,
quick?
please do
real
your
quick,
plugs,
just
my
real
boy.
quick.
Please.
First and foremost, I want to shout out Dog Fam for being that's pretty much my family.
That's like the puppy girl thing.
Nah, that's all my group of friends. The people I consider to be like my family. Like
You
I
got
don't
a
have,
gang?
Yeah, I don't have. Yeah, we got a gang. You know what I'm saying? We roll up and shit. We
Whoa.
roll deep. I don't have like I
Dog
don't-
fam?
A lot of people, yeah, that's what
We
we
gotta
call
start
ourselves.
something.
Dog
Write
fam.
that down.
Yeah, you
Write
guys
down
should get
cat
like
family or
get
something.
something. Yeah. Get something. Get like
Just our own thing, Make a note of that, Mike.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna work on that.
Doesn't
That's something
work,
for us.
fam, or
That's something
something.
for later notes.
Well, I didn't have a good relationship with either of my parents. So in my earlier 20s, like people would go home for Thanksgiving, Christmas. I didn't do shit because I didn't have a good relationship with either of my parents, and so I always felt kind of lost. But then I started doing stuff with my group of friends, and then we started doing like Friendsgiving. Well, it was Kegsgiving, then it became Friendsgiving. As we got older, we started doing gift exchanges for Christmas. So like they became my family.
That's
you know what I'm
nice.
saying? Like these are people that like I have a lot of love for. Whenever I'm going through some shit, like I can hit up anybody in that
That's
group, and they're gonna have
beautiful.
my back. So they've always given me a lot of love and support. They come to a lot of my comedy shit. They'll hear the same jokes over and over hundreds of fucking times, and they'll still come. So I'm very appreciative of that. Shout out to Dog Fam.
Shout out Dog Fam.
I want to shout out the Barrel Boys up in Harford County. Bailey Storff for being the first guy to ever put me on a show for comedy. Bam Jacobs for being the first guy to ever pay me in comedy. Beer Run Comedy. I want to shout those guys out. Ray Jubila, Steve Tracy. You guys are fucking amazing. Thank you for putting me on that show earlier this month. James Finstagram. There's so many fucking good comics in Baltimore, dude. Go out and see some people. Bobby Ray, Kwame, fucking Matt Pennington. You got fucking Greg Stamper, Mo, Matt Hurley.
We're gonna link all
these
their full
guys.
names.
All these guys. Matt Hurley's the owner of
And
the
socials
Port.
in the description.
Have you ever been to the Port Comedy
There's
Club?
like 70 of them.
You've been to the Port. You guys, yeah. You've never been to
I've
the Port?
been to the Port. We
think so,
should
no.
go.
It's in
We're-
Fells,
actually,
Fells
next
Point.
Tuesday we're gonna go check out M8.
Yeah, go, dude. Check
I
it out.
think next Tuesday
That's
we're
shout
gonna
out
go
to
check it
Mo.
out.
Mo's that's Mo's Mike. But Matt Hurley down at the Port, dude. He literally created a legitimate comedy club. Not to say that the Goobies isn't, but like this is a real.
Yeah, the Port's cool.
I mean, dude, I've gone to shows where there's 7 people there, but I've gone to shows where there's 200 people there. You know what I'm saying? It's our legitimate, real club. So Matt Hurley for providing the space for people to work shit out. Just the comedy scene in Baltimore, there's a lot of good guys. it doesn't get as much love as like Philly or DC or you know what I mean. So go out and see an open micer. You'd be surprised.
Yeah, go out and check it out. They're fun, bro.
Yeah, it's
They're
a good time,
fun.
dude. Even like, even if people are bombing, there's still a lot of fun in it. And the fact that like,
Yeah, that's fun.
yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
honestly, dude, I've had some times where like shit's going so bad that it becomes funny, you know? what I mean?
Right.
But it's also like, when you're up there working shit out, you can kind of tell if it's going to be a good night or not. So you don't take it as serious. But you know what I mean? Like, it's just little things you pick up along the way and stuff. But dude, no, definitely get back up because you're
I'm
fucking
gonna.
hilarious. Bro.
Thank you. I'm
So,
gonna.
you're a
But
very
yeah,
funny
we'll have to
guy.
get you back on too, man. That
I
was
would love
fun.
to,
That was
dude.
easy.
That
you
was
know?
fun.
Yeah, it seemed like it went
good.
by super quick.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We ran through it. We'll get you to piss.
Yeah.
Hey, shout out to the listeners, all 10 of you. We appreciate you.
Dog fan, beer boys, beer
Dog
run
fan,
top.
beer boys, barrel boys. Matt Hamill from
Matt Hurley.
yeah.
Thank you guys.
If this doesn't work, I'll kill myself.
Damn.